All right, all right. What's good, everyone? Joining up the live right now. How's everyone doing today? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's really early in the stream, everyone. Really early in the day. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Let me let Instagram know I'm live. I'm live. Boom. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing so far? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day so far. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good day, everyone. Good day. Good day. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good day. Hopefully everyone is having a good day. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Mike? How you doing? What's good? What's up, Jordan? What's up, Ashley? What's up, Maya? What's up, Mila? How you doing? Always good to see you. Always good to see you. JV, thank you so much for the membership subscription. Thank you so much. Russell, what's up? How you doing? What's up, Peyton? What's up, Autumn? What's up, Alyssa? How you doing? Mayflower, how you doing? It's 9 a.m. I know, I got on super early today. See, chat, I have therapy at 1 a.m. today. I didn't even realize I did. I kind of fucked up because I set up time to go live this time, and then Dean already was like gonna go live later in the day. And by the time I realized this, it was too late last night. Where if I texted Dean, Dean wouldn't have changed his live time. So might as well just go today. If the live stream's doing really well, I'll low-key cancel therapy. But just general considerations. I'll be off at like 1 o'clock, and then I might be on a bit later today. I'll probably be on later today, but that's if I get off, which I might just cancel it. I genuinely think I'm fine for this week. I'll be fine. A lot of people saying don't cancel therapy. I got you. I got you. I mean, I'll still make the determination. I think I'm in a place where I'm fine, where I'd be okay without a week. I'm going every week, so. Talia, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. I'm happy that you got accepted into uni. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. What's good, everyone? What therapy is just normal therapy. It's just like with my normal therapist. I typically have it at that time, and I just forgot about that today was Wednesday. It's the week went by really quickly. We'll see everyone, because if the algorithm is doing good, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But we'll see. All right. Well, I would go anyway. We'll see. It's just because I messed up my schedule, and my brain really doesn't like going off the schedule like that. All right, we're gonna start getting some debates real quick. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Someone said algorithm over therapy. Yeah, okay, that's me sometimes. Okay, my brain is a little bit crazy.
I'm a British fan. I swear to God, I love these.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. We are just looking for some debates. Everyone, only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Time difference is wild. Yeah, I know it's 9 a.m. here. Yeah. Yo, what's up? How old are you? It's literally noon for people on the East Coast. Yeah, that time difference is diabolical, isn't it, chat? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20.
What's your birth year?
05.
What month?
April.
Why'd you laugh?
I'm nervous. It's like coping, kind of, you know.
Can you explain to me why practically no one's ever done that on my live for the past 4 years of me going live?
There's like 900 people watching.
I'm just messing with
nervous.
you. I'm just messing with you. Chill.
All right.
Yeah, so why do you support Donald Trump?
So like I'm not really like into politics, so I just vote based on like the endorsements and stuff, and the Jake Paul one just really did it for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's right there is exactly why I should have responded that way. Look at that, chat. Look at that. All right, chat. I have no messages. Or no guest requests right now. So give it a second for people to join up. Vibes based voting. I doubt it that was a real. Like anytime someone mentions like someone like Jake Paul or some other like content creator like that, I know they're probably trolling. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
I just want to say thank you for what you do.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Appreciate the paper crane. What's your birth year?
Birth year is 2005, born in January.
Okay. Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, the reason why I supported Donald Trump in the 2024 election over Kamala Harris, is because, well, number one, it's pretty much known that ever since Donald Trump came into office in January, the amount of people entering the country legally, maybe legally as well, have decreased. I think that's a good thing.
You're Christian, right?
I am a Catholic man, yes, sir.
Okay. So, like, I mean, what does the Bible say about how you should treat foreigners?
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about Romans 13, where it says to respect the law of the land? And so I don't think that illegal immigrants are respecting the law of the land when they come in illegally. So I think we should kick them out.
Yeah, and Jesus definitely did that when, you know, he was being, like, crucified, right? Like, the reason why he was being crucified is because he violated Roman law. So please explain to me why you have to, you know, follow the law in all circumstances. Is that an argument?
Well, he was crucified because he claimed to be God. Right? That's a completely different thing.
By
there are
multiple.
He did rise himself from the dead.
There are multiple depictions on what it is, and given that that's the case, that's violating Roman law. Is that not?
Is that violating Roman law? Well, yeah. Pilate said that
obviously you don't see anything more. Wait, to clarify, you don't see anything more.
Well, no, that's not true. The Roman emperor said let me clarify what I'm trying to get. Jesus. I'm just refuting what you said.
Oh, so you say so you said Jesus did nothing against Roman law.
Well,
this is not disputed historically. I don't know why you're disputing this point. This is a really weird point to dispute. Like, this is a very basic point to accept.
Okay,
that Jesus broke Roman law. Like, that's it. That's all I'm arguing. Jesus broke Roman law. That's not a complex thing. This is not this is not even a disputed thing within Christianity.
So Jesus crucified, therefore illegal should come in our country. Like that.
Jesus Christ, dude! I'm just gonna mute you and I'm gonna explain my position. I want you to listen for a second, okay? I don't want to start this conversation.
Panicking. You're getting baked.
On what, dude? On what? I'm just trying to explain the position to you. On what are you beating me on?
Because you tried to bring up Leviticus. Yeah, because
I didn't even bring Leviticus. That's not even.
Well, no. I know where you were going. This seems to be the argument that people are bringing up lately. Oh, treat the foreigners with respect and the sojourners. Well, yeah.
You're not even letting me finish my position.
Okay, go ahead. Then I'll just refute you.
Go ahead. So all I was describing is that you can break law, and it can be totally okay. That's it. That just because something is the law doesn't mean it's rightfully the law. That's all I'm describing. That's all I'm describing. Do you at least accept that? Just because something's the law does not mean it's rightfully the law.
Okay, so then what determines what should be the law and shouldn't be?
I asked you a question. I don't want to hear a question back. I want to hear an answer to my question.
I answered your question respectfully. I said, okay, yes, sure. So now I ask you a question. That is what I said. Okay.
Do you want me to play?
I answered your question.
Okay, obviously is not an answer to the question. Stop, bro. Why are you being so insufferable?
Are we?
I'm what 8 minutes into the live, and I already have someone incredibly insufferable on the live.
How am I being insufferable?
Dude, it's 9 a.m. It is 9 a.m. Jesus Christ, dude.
Why are you acting like that?
I'm not acting like anything.
What are you doing, man?
It's 8. We're 8 minutes in, and you're being insufferable instead of trying to understand me.
I'm trying to understand you. What do you have to say?
What did I just explain? I just explained just because someone breaks the law doesn't mean they're doing something wrong, like morally speaking. Do you agree?
Well, in some circumstances, sure. Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's kind of the point I'm establishing, right? So just because there's a violation of the law doesn't mean they did something wrong. So given that it is the case that someone's in the country undocumented, they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, under your view, what would be the reason to deport them?
Well, I think in that case, right, it's very different. Number one, that's not even always true, though. I mean, there has been people that come in the country that's done violent crimes. I mean, look at all the cases that happened in 2024. That poor girl, she was just walking to, I think, her house, or she walking from her house at nighttime to Venezuelan illegal immigrants. Unalive.
Did I make this claim? Did I make the claim that violent crimes don't occur? I said in the circumstances in which there's someone in the country who's undocumented who has not committed a violent crime or bad crime, is it the case that you would allow them, right, a pathway to citizenship, or is it the case that you would see a reason to deport them? And if you'd see a reason to deport
Well,
them,
if they're seeking
what would be that
asylum,
reason?
but I don't think every. Well, sure. By the way, why everyone crying about this? I mean, Obama did this and no one cared.
Is that a response? Okay, well, Obama, right, had
Yeah, no,
some
I'm
level
saying
of
illegal immigration. I'm saying mass
by
deportation
the
isn't
way,
necessarily bad.
So one, I do disagree with Obama doing that. Two, the distinction between can I please finish? The distinction between Obama and between Trump is that Trump is doing it with less due process.
He's doing it with less due process.
Yes.
Well, do you see the thing is, right? When you have all these people that you have to deport, I mean, Biden has let what, millions of people in our country?
What did he
kinda
do to
gotta
let
speed it
millions of
up.
people into the country?
He did nothing. He did nothing on the border, right? And that's why ever since Trump came into office, we know that the amount of people that have been coming in the southern border have decreased. Why? Because Trump has actually been doing something while Biden was doing nothing for 4 years.
Name one policy that he passed for the immigration.
What are you talking about? He literally got Canada and Mexico to agree to send thousands of troops on the southern
Thousands
border.
less than Biden, and that was with a threat of tariffs. Give me a policy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
that was
so then why do we have?
It was
why-
thousands less than Biden, and Biden didn't even have to threaten tariffs. Good job. Now give
Really?
me go
Really?
back and give me a single policy.
Really? Hold on.
That's not a
So
policy.
then why? So wait, why statistically? So do you disagree with the statistics that says that since Trump came into office?
Wait, you're
people
not.
in
That's not
southern-
the
the
claim
amount
you're
of people-
making. You were making a claim about
That's
how
literally
many
what I
troops.
said. That's what I said.
no, you were
Don't
making.
lie on me.
You're lying.
Don't lie on me, Parker. I literally said not even 10 seconds ago.
You were making a claim about how many troops Canada and Mexico have sent.
Why are you
specifically
muting me?
because you're lying, and I'm clearly just going to demonstrate the truth. Right? Canada and Mexico sent more troops under Biden to the border in order to deal with what was going on in terms of immigration than existed under Trump, and Biden didn't have to threaten tariffs. Okay, especially to our allies.
Okay. Well, hopefully this will be a live where I'm not spam muted. But if that is the case, I guess I'll just have to deal with it or whatever.
Yeah,
Since
get a
you're the
Kleenex.
host. Anyways, get a Kleenex.
Yeah. If you need some, or you can also deposit your tears right here. Tears go in this cup. If you need it, any MAGA tears are welcome in this cup.
Okay, that was a good one, Parker. Hopefully everyone laughs at that.
No. people
Anyways,
did,
let's
don't
get
worry.
back to
There
the
was a lot.
topic.
There was a lot of people laughing in the comments section. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I'm glad you felt great about. I'm glad you feel good today. Glad you're happy. That's all I care about. Anyways, let's
you.
get back to the topic. So, he threatened our countries with tariffs. Okay, that's better than not doing anything and continuously letting all these people in. Do you deny statistically? I'm gonna ask you again. Do you deny statistically or do you deny the statistics that say rather that ever since Trump came into office, right? So the amount of people that have been entering the southern border has decreased. Do you deny that?
The amount of people have decreased, right? Now, I don't necessarily think that's
Great.
actually a good thing.
So then Trump is doing something.
Wait, you could say Trump. You could say that it could be associated with Trump doing something, but it doesn't necessitate that Trump did do something. That'd be a correlation causation fallacy. Just because two things are associated does not mean one caused the other. Do you agree with that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I got distracted.
Yeah, that would be a correlation causation fallacy if you were to say it's necessitated, right? That's not like an argument for what he did specifically. Like I asked you for a policy and you couldn't.
I mean,
mention
yeah,
any
we're
policy.
going off of statistics. We're going off statistics.
Wait.
We're
Just to
saying
clarify,
we're
just to
looking at
clarify,
what.
just because a number changes doesn't mean that number
Who
was
was
changed.
the one that? Wait, who was the one that threatened the country? Because I'm gonna prove what I'm saying. I'm gonna prove that it's because of Trump. Who was the one that threatened the two countries, our two allies, like you say, with tariffs, and as a result, they brought thousands of troops to their borders? Who was the one that did that? Who was the one that caused that?
There was less troops than what existed under Biden.
Answer my question. I don't want to hear that. Can you answer my question? Who was the one that threatened?
Trump caused there to be less troops than Biden, even with the threat of tariffs. Biden caused more troops.
Okay.
Are you gonna acknowledge that? Acknowledge that one, buddy. Biden caused.
I'm not.
Biden
You know
caused
what
more
you're
troops.
doing.
Biden
Like, these
caused
debate
more.
tactics are not gonna
Biden
work.
caused more
You
troops.
obfuscating for the question.
He can't answer this. Biden literally caused more troops. Correct?
Based off of what statistic?
Oh, dude, wait. We're just mentioning he got 15,000.
Okay, great. So 15,000 more. So he had more troops. Well, he had 5,000 more troops. Okay, but more people coming
Without
into
the threat of
border somehow?
tariffs.
without the threat of terrorists, and millions of people were still pouring into the country whenever he was office. Millions of more people, I would rather say, millions of more than what Trump had, within the span of what?
Okay,
6
so
months?
we'll talk about the amount of people. So obviously you don't care about the troops. The original point you brought up was irrelevant. You care about the amount of people coming. Well, I have a question. I still want you to answer this question. What is the reason? What is the reason? You still haven't answered this question. What is the reason to deport someone if they're in the country and they have not committed a violent crime or a bad crime? Like a bad crime insofar as that they should be deported.
Well, nah, I mean, I wouldn't say that entering a country illegally isn't a bad crime. I mean, that's kind of a stretch, don't you think?
That's exactly my point. So that's not a good reason why they should be deported. So what's the good
No,
reason?
I'm saying it can be it probably is a bad crime. I mean, if I enter into Russia or somewhere else illegally, I'm probably gonna get unalive.
Wait. One, that's not true. Two, as it relates to this, even if it is the case that
Okay.
you would look at other countries, right? You wouldn't just say because it is the case that another country has a certain law, that means we should operate our law that way, especially Russia. Right? Like, I don't know why you would look at one of our
Oh, yeah,
biggest
maybe Russia
adversaries
was
and
a
be
bad
like,
example,
First the
'cause, yeah,
Galaxy, thank
yeah.
you so much, Cindy, and be like, dude, we should be running our laws like them. Like, no, dude. Next, use
Well,
North,
no, I think- I think-
use
I
North
think
Korea
maybe
for your
we
next
have a thing
example,
or two.
please.
Oh, yeah, maybe Russia was a bad example, but yeah, okay. Well, maybe, but we can learn a few things from other countries. I don't know why anyone would disagree with that. Yes, it's a civil law that they would be breaking, okay, but I mean, it's still there's consequences. I mean, you think people should just be allowed to come in? They don't have any paperwork. They don't make the effort to file for any paperwork. You think that should just happen and we should just live all lollygaggy? People taking our jobs and stuff, all like
They're not taking jobs.
we
They're
should
not,
be
they're
okay
not
with
taking
this.
jobs. What is this idea that they're taking jobs? Can you give me any good evidence of that? What is it? Do you know how that works when someone comes to the country? Not only do they provide supply, but they also provide demand, which then creates more jobs because there's more people demanding goods in our country. Come on, dude. You have to understand that there are multifaceted approaches of how it's going to impact the economy. It's not just one way.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I really just I don't see why. I mean, so you pretty much disagree with every president, not just Trump, but you disagree with every
Does he
president that's been
respond to a
president for
single
like.
point that I make it rather than like? Can you respond to what I just said? You
No, I'm
just said that
saying
they
you
were
did
taking
so- no,
jobs.
I'm
I
responding.
disputed that
This is a
point. I showed
response.
that was obviously ridiculous. And then what's your response?
My response is this: you disagree with every president before, basically every president for like what the past that's been president for like
I
the
don't
past
care.
20
Wait.
years.
I'm sorry. Why is disagreeing with presidents
That's
relevant to our
ridiculous.
conversation? How is it ridiculous to disagree with presidents?
Well, you disagree with presidents on a big matter. I mean, whether you're Democratic.
Wait, why does that matter?
Democratic
Who
or Republican.
cares? Give me an argument. Give me a reason why it's bad,
Well-
not just that
Well,
presidents disagreed with
a
me.
lot of people care. A lot
Wait,
of
you know,
people
Joe
care.
Biden disagrees with you. Okay. Okay, can you stop? Can you give me an actual argument? Joe Biden disagrees
Wait,
with
he
you.
actually doesn't disagree with me on deportation, though. He doesn't disagree with Obama
wait.
doesn't disagree with me on deportation, though.
By the way, they do.
So actually, they don't
do-
disagree with me, bud. So
By
nice
the
try.
by the way, they do disagree with you, but not in terms of the element of deportation in general. That like people who have not have committed violent crimes, bad crimes, still in those circumstances should be deported. But they say that they should be given significantly less priority, which the Trump administration isn't doing. If you'd like to respond to any of those points, I still have yet to hear a response to the arguments I'm providing, rather than just like literally you just trying to run around from the points. Are you gonna try to post this later? Because it's not gonna look good for you, man.
Well, unlike you, I'm not the big superstar, so I'm not gonna post or whatever.
Well, no, I get
Whatever that
people that
means,
come
but-
up on my live all the time that like try to post things. They're like, "Oh, Parker destroyed on this specific point." But I get to see it on my For You page.
No,
later and
don't
laugh at
worry.
it.
You know, you're still gonna be a superstar tomorrow. Don't worry. Me destroying you in this debate isn't gonna influence your, whatever. It's not gonna impact you that much.
I don't call
But
myself
anyways-
a superstar, and you're not destroying me in this debate. You've done nothing. Give me a single
Nah,
point
I
you beat me
mean,
on. Give me a
you're a
single point.
superstar, bud. You are a superstar. Don't act like you're not famous. Come on. Anyways,
I really
let's
don't
get back
like
to
that. I don't know.
You don't like it? Well, why did you start this whole thing? Why do you make your whole career hating on conservatives, hating on Trump? By the way, you can have your opinion, but I mean, you've met the president, you've done all these things, you have millions of people watching you every single month, probably. Why do you? If you don't like that, then why even do it?
Because I want a better society. Like I'm not someone who really likes being the center of attention.
You think supporting a woman who wants to try to re-overturn Roe v. Wade or whatever, making a better society by
No,
allowing
she
people
wants
to
bring
abort
back
their babies.
Yeah, bring back Roe versus Wade. That's great.
Yeah, that's not great. I think unaliving hundreds of thousands of babies each year isn't really supporting the society.
You understand those hundreds of thousands of babies are still being unalived through abortion under the law currently, even though Roe versus Wade has been overturned.
Yeah, that's
Secondly,
why I
it's
think
just
that
restricting people in circumstances in which they literally can die, right? In circumstances in which they've been sexually assaulted, right? And forcing families against their will to keep individuals in their family that are brain dead on life support, right? In order to literally follow Georgia law, because it's so strict that forces them to utilize their family member, the government to force them to, in a circumstance where their family member is used as an incubator, right? And they literally go and they fucking harvest and extract the baby from the dead body, right? In that circumstance, right? Like that's the reality of Georgia law, because you've left it up to the states. Now, I think that leaving it up to the federal government to protect it prior to the context of viability is a significantly better policy than leaving it up to the states to lead to such treacherous shit like that happening.
Or how about this? I think that
If you want to look up Adriana Smith.
Are you talking about the recent case of the woman that's been pregnant? She's brain dead now. You're talking about her?
Well, now it is the case that they've already harvested the baby. So
Harvest the baby.
yeah, literally from her dead body.
Yeah, we know what happened. Okay, and I don't think that is a good thing, but the baby is alive. Okay.
Obviously, you think that's a bad thing, and that's the inevitable reality that came from Donald Trump leaving it up to the states, which is a horrible, disgusting, and abhorrent thing. The fact that you stood behind that policy is treacherous.
Well, actually, I don't stand behind that. What I do stand behind is the federal government banning abortion overall, like Poland did.
Oh, wait, I have a question then. Is there any exceptions you believe should exist?
Oh yeah, I give exceptions, like the grape exceptions, the medical emergency exceptions, stuff like that. I'm not a complete abolitionist or whatever. Abolitionist. I forgot the word for it, but yeah, I don't think we should ban abortion altogether. I just think that the majority of these women, by the way, according to the Lawyers Institute, dated, if there's a record of this, dated from May 24, 2024, 95% of abortions are elective abortions. So that means that 95% of women that go into Planned Parenthood every year, most likely they're not getting an abortion because, they got assaulted, or maybe they can't give birth. They're getting an abortion because, they had a oopsie daisy and, I don't want this kid, so I'm just going to abort him because I'm a degenerate. Why do you think that's okay?
That's by the way, that's not at all. It's not just that. The fact that you reduce it down to that means that you just don't care to understand why people engage in these actions in the very first place. And yeah, if that were the only reason, I don't give a flying fuck, right? For example,
I know you don't care.
Yeah, I'll explain. If I got my girlfriend pregnant, you're saying if she got an abortion in the first trimester based upon her own choice, that she should be sent to prison? And if I pay for it, I should be sent to prison too, right?
Well, I think there should be some legal consequences if you do get an abortion.
Okay, wait, to clarify, you think it's murder. Should she go to prison for murder?
Well, I think that there should be some consequences for murder. We shouldn't just let people get away with murder. Do you think?
So do you think my girlfriend?
Do you think people should get away with murder?
Clearly not. Do you think that my girlfriend should go to
Okay,
prison?
so then if it's abortion is murder, then you would agree with me.
Well, I don't think it's murder, right? So that's the
Well, of
distinction that we're
course.
gonna have.
You
But,
don't
like,
think
I'm asking
unaliving
you-
an unborn child is murder.
so
That's
then-
fine, but I think
can
it
you
is. So
answer the
therefore, they should
scenario
get
that
consequences.
So answer the scenario that I brought up. It's so difficult for you to answer the
I
scenario.
did. I just answered.
Do you want me to play back the
I
audio?
said that people should get. I'm gonna say it again. I said that people should get sent to jail for murdering, for unaliving a human being unjustifiably.
I understand.
That's what I believe.
I understand, but you're not
That's what a
answering
lot
the
of people in
specific
America
scenario,
believe.
and instead you're saying other things where you don't have to specifically answer it. So in the scenario where my girlfriend gets an abortion the first trimester and I pay for it because I'm trying to support her, should we both go to prison?
Well, again, for how long? Because I think
Wow.
that's a dispute in
He's
of
asking,
itself.
how long should murderers go to prison? How long should people who pay for murder go to prison? Well, that's your question to answer.
Well, no,
Why are
I
you
mean-
asking me?
Well, yeah, obviously, because do you think all murderers get the same sentence? So is everybody that So do you think?
Dude,
that
I'm
would
asking
went
you
to
what
jail?
your position is. I'm asking you what your position is.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I mean, I just told you my position.
No, you didn't. Tell me. Answer the question, dude. You're so
I just
insufferable.
answered your question. Look, I don't know why you're so hung up on. You just want to get see another gotcha. You just want another gotcha.
He doesn't want to answer
you
questions.
and
So he's
Dean
just
and all
going to
these other
consider it a
people love
gotcha
doing
to
this so
demean it.
much.
You're just calling it a gotcha to demean it because you don't want to answer the question. Because it did get
Okay.
you.
Yes, if you put a hit out on your your own son, your own daughter, if you put a hit on them, right? If you get your baby unalived, I think you should go to prison. Maybe not for, I don't know, for however long the justice system decides they should punish you. I'll leave that up to the justice system.
So
But
then-
what I do know is that there should be consequences.
Okay, so again, me and my girlfriend should go to prison, right?
Whatever the law
Wow, I
demands.
actually I can't do this, dude. It's really a simple question. It's a direct
So you-
question. You don't have to answer like a politician.
Oh my goodness!
Like you're
I'm
acting like a
literally answering
politician,
the
bro.
question.
You're not running for Congress.
Look, let me ask you this. Can I ask you a question?
What?
I asked you this, and you still haven't answered. Why do you think it's okay for those women to unalive their unborn children?
Still not
right?
answering my question? Still not answering my question.
Like,
I
for
see.
instance-
Asking me a question instead of answering my question, I see.
You just said I can ask you a question.
Would you like to answer my question?
Like, dude, you're such a gaslighter. You're such a liar. Like, what are you doing? Can you answer my question?
You understand that I was letting you do that so that I could point out your hypocrisy, genius? Now answer my point.
Yeah, so obviously, yeah. So what do you want me to say? Other than already said, yeah, I already said all this other stuff. What do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say? What else do you want from me, Parker?
A direct answer. Like, my girlfriend and I, should we go to prison in that context?
Well, if prison is
He
what the
can't
justice
answer this
system
question.
I
He can't do it. He can't do it to save his life. Dude.
I'm literally answering your question, dude.
No,
What are
you're
you
not.
doing?
Try. I'll mute up. Try.
Okay, the question that Parker just asked me is, if him and his girlfriend decide to get an abortion, they decide to pay for their unborn baby to be unalive, do I believe that he should go to prison? Well, I think that if that's, yeah, sure. But maybe not for the same amount of, as for, what's the guy's name? I don't know, the guy who ate people or whatever. I
No.
don't think you should get the same sentence as him,
No,
right?
Should we get the same sentence as if it were like a newborn baby that we killed? Because we're talking about like a first
if
trimester
you're talking
abortion.
newborn baby, I think that's worse, right? Unaliving a newborn baby is obviously worse than unaliving an unborn baby. Sure, I can grant
Why?
you that. Well, I mean, newborn babies, they feel pain and all this stuff. It will be very, very cruel. It's still cruel, but it'll be very, very cruel to unalive a newborn.
Well, they feel pain. So, like, do you know that women go through pain if you don't allow them to get access to an abortion when they literally want one? Given it is the case that they're going to be like having to do something that they don't want to do that relates to their own bodily autonomy, right? For something that is not sentient. So clearly, that's going to be painful, right, and going to lead to harm for the woman. So why wouldn't you categorize that harm and pain to be more valuable than the fucking non-sentient embryo or zygote that's going to die?
Well, the zygote isn't gonna die if you unalive it. But second, to answer your question, right?
The zygote's not gonna die if you want to live it. What?
Oh well, sorry, I misspoke there. I meant to say the zygote isn't gonna die if you don't unalive it. But again, to answer your question, right? I know you can laugh at my misspeaking or whatever.
I'm sorry.
To answer your question,
It was just kind of funny, of course.
yeah, I know that. That's fine. It's okay.
I'm not like laughing at you.
So-
I'm just like laughing. It was just a funny set of words for like a pro-lifer to say. That's it. Obviously, I know that you like accidentally did it. I'm not like laughing at you
Yeah,
because you
for sure,
accidentally
for
did it.
sure.
I'm
That-
laughing at
that's-
just like
that's
what
fine.
the words were said.
Yeah. To answer your question, well, yes, the woman might get pain for not getting an abortion. But think about the pain that causes I don't know, her mother that might be like, oh, I don't want you to unalive the baby. Or think about the pain it might cause for the husband that doesn't want their
Okay, well let's look
baby
at
to be
let's look at
alive.
it. There are more people who are pro-choice than pro-life, so clearly more harm on behalf of the fact that you're violating people who are pro-choice's opinions. So let's
What is
try
that?
that.
That's like I don't know.
Oh, look at that, buddy!
That-
He just lost in his own game in the country that
No,
you
it's
live
like-
in.
only-
That's what people's
wait, hold on.
positions are.
It's only a 5% difference. There's only a 5% difference from the amount of people that
Tell
are
me.
pro-choice, pro-life.
Wait, tell me, what's the distinction?
I just gave you the distinction.
No, tell me.
First off, I think that unaliving someone It's gonna be more unaliving a
No,
human.
wait,
Is gonna be way,
what's your source for the pro-life stats? I'll pull it up, but like I just genuinely, I'd like to hear what
oh, you
you're,
can
where
literally just
you're
look it
getting
up.
them from.
According, yeah, I mean, if you look it up, 40%, 46% of the population is pro-life. Okay, great guys.
It
Pro-choicers
says,
win.
I
Pro-choicers.
see on a Gallup poll right here, 43%,
Oh yeah,
and
well,
51%
43%.
pro-choice.
Yeah, 51%
That's an
pro-choice.
8%
Whatever. So,
distinction.
okay, so I'm like,
That's statistically
couple off.
significant.
okay. Okay, last time I checked it was 56. I mean 46, but I was wrong. Okay, that's fine. I can concede on that. But it doesn't still unaliving a human being is going to be way more painful than the pain of not unaliving it. I mean,
What?
do you think
What?
that? I mean,
wait. There's no pain that it goes through if it's literally not sentient, right? What are you talking about?
well, if it's not sentient, that doesn't matter if the person's not. It doesn't matter if the human isn't experiencing anything. You could still harm a human that's not experiencing anything.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you're obviously talking about an experience of pain and harm, right?
No, I'm saying you can harm someone even if they're not. You can harm a human being even if they're not experiencing
Well,
the harm.
it's not a human being prior to the point of sentience, so
Wait, what? Wait.
yeah.
Say that again for me.
It's a cellular.
You believe that the
it's a cellular human life, but it's not a human being. It's not a person.
what? What's the difference? What's the what? Why
I'll
do
tell
you guys do this?
Can I describe it to you? A person is going to be a human, right? That meets the set of criteria of past or present and future subjective experience. That's it. That's what a person is.
Wait. So a human being isn't. Wait. So a human life isn't a human being.
Just because they're biologically cellular alive does not mean it's a human being. Yes. Like for example, sperm cells are of the human species and they're living. Are they human lives? I mean, not human. Sorry. Are they human beings? I apologize.
No.
Okay. So cellular human life, right, of the human species, cellular life is not always a human being. That's all the point that I was making.
It's a little bit different when you talk about sperm, though, because they're not humans at all. I mean, they're just sperm cells. The singular cellular organisms.
I have a question. Of what species? All living organisms have a species. Of what species are sperm cells that are of human beings?
I would probably have to look it up, but I know for a fact that it's a
it must be some alien species. You know what I mean?
well, no, I mean, if you want me to pull it up, I can pull it up for you. But
They're
they're
sheep.
not.
They're
I mean,
actually sheep. You know what? You know what? They're sheep. No, they're fucking.
I mean,
human.
by definition, they wouldn't be a human because they don't.
What?
They don't meet the criteria of being a human.
Wait, they wouldn't be
They're
a human. Listen.
for
This is the
starters, they're
distinction. This is the distinction. They wouldn't be a human being, but they are of the human species and they're cellularly alive.
That's like saying that the mycobacteria that live on your teeth are human life as well because they live in you.
Are they?
Like, that's literally
wait,
that's your logic.
I'm sorry. Are you the sperm cells created by your body? Yes. Are the microorganisms in your teeth created by your body? I don't think so. Right? I don't think they
well,
hold your
that's-
DNA. Like I don't think that they.
No, I mean you literally. I mean you have an entire microbiome in your guts, right? That's literally they live in your body. They reside in
well,
the human's
I-
body
to
to
clarify,
help you
to clarify.
digest your food.
But
So what
I-
are you talking about?
But I just want to clarify. They're not of the human species, right? There's a distinction, right? Because it is the case that they're of a separate species, right? Their life comes from something, I guess, a little bit separate from the genome, at least that we have in terms of humans. We know that human sperm have human genome, right? Like to some degree, right? That's because they're part of the process of creating human beings.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so can you at least
yeah, okay,
identify
so
the
you're saying-
reality
so
that
you're
it's
saying-
human cellular life, but it's not human being.
So you're saying that the fetus before sentience. By the way, when do you think sentience appears?
24 weeks.
Wait, so you believe up until 20 to 24 weeks, it's okay to unalive the fetus?
Absolutely.
Okay, even when so you're telling me at the point it has a heartbeat, it has a nervous system. As long as it's not sentient, you get to unalive it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, would you say that if it was like
And again,
an
the
infant-
unaliving it is necessary in order for there to be a termination of pregnancy. All right, if it wasn't,
Okay,
then there wouldn't have to be an unaliving.
Okay, so if for some reason a 9-month-old baby, by the way, there's like literally, do you know what anencephaly is? There's babies that are born with like half their brain, right, that come out, right? So basically, these babies wouldn't be sentient under your view. would you say it would be okay to unalive them if they were like if the woman wanted to in their baby? I mean, in their body.
Well, I don't think that you should be able to do certain things to a body the same way I don't think you should be able to do that to, say, like a dead body, right? But it is the case that, like, they wouldn't have, like, a right to life if it is the case that they don't have sentience. Given that you're talking about individuals that could have sentience or do have sentience, well, then in circumstances in which they do have sentience, they clearly would be granted the rights. It doesn't matter the level of sentience, so that's not the distinction I'm making. It's just the fact that they meet the criteria of past or present and future subjective experience. Given there's no past or present and future subjective experience, obviously I'd be like, what are you considering valuable at that point?
Okay, yeah. The logic that you guys have.
Can I ask you a question?
I think
Is it murder to pull the plug on an individual in your family that's brain dead?
well, that's a little bit different, right? Because you're talking about someone that's already brain dead. A fetus is not brain dead. The fetus is living, growing, and it's gonna be a hopefully talking, walking individual. Brain dead is not. Brain dead person's not, right?
So their
So,
brain
yeah.
their brain has never turned sentient, meaning that they're not brain dead, meaning that their sentience is turned off, but they're brain dead in the sense that their brain is never turned on. In that way, does that make sense? They're not brain
hear what you're
alive
saying.
either.
But the thing that I care about is their future, their ability to have those things. The brain dead person isn't going to have those things. But I know you don't. It's not about what
Wait, so you're
I
saying
care about.
you value just a future? Okay. If it is the case that I was engaging in intercourse and I knew for a 100% fact that if I pulled out there wouldn't be a kid, and if I stayed in that there would be a kid, would it be wrong for me to pull out?
For you to wait, are you talking about? Okay, yeah, you're having consensual sex with your partner, right? And you want to pull out. You're asking me if you would be wrong for doing that?
Yeah, because it would get rid of the future potential.
I mean, you can do whatever you. I mean, if you can do whatever you want with your partner, that's between you and your partner, right?
Wait,
I'm not arguing
of
that.
course, yeah. You don't care about just future, right?
Well, I mean, I'm a Catholic, so I think that pulling out, I think that leaving your sperm on some surface is wrong. Okay, I think that's wrong. You shouldn't do that.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's
Wait.
between you and
So
your
you
partner.
do
It's
think
not, it's not the same thing.
So maybe I should have used this example because you think pulling out in general is wrong.
I think, yeah, I think.
Wait,
leaving
can
your
I
sperm
ask
on
you
the
a
floor
question? Can I ask you a question?
I think leaving your sperm on the floor I think leaving your sperm on the floor is wrong. Yeah, God killed a man for doing that.
Oh, okay. So to clarify, if you pull out, you can be killed. That's your
That's
view.
not-
If you
that's-
pull out, you get
That's
killed.
totally, that.
You're cooked, bro.
I'm not-
You're
that's
done
not the
for.
norm- that's not the
You're
norm.
cooked.
That's not the normative. Okay, that's not the normative way. I'm
Well,
just
God
saying
did it. God
I'm not
did it,
saying
so it
it's-
must be good, right? Because God is all good, right?
Oh, here we go.
That's your
So,
position.
God
He's
is-
all knowing, all powerful, all good. He did something, therefore it was good, right? That follows, logically speaking. You think it's justified to murder someone because they pulled out and not on the ground. Like, you're nuts, dude. You're actually crazy.
Okay, no, I'm not crazy.
Yes, you
Number
are.
two. No, I'm
Why?
not. 68% of the 68% of the American population is Christian. They're all crazy, I guess.
Wait,
Anyways,
I don't even think all Christians would hold this perspective. This is
I'm not
this is
saying.
your
Wait, do you
specific
think?
dominant-
Wait, do you
this
think
is-
my
this is
argument?
your specific
do you think
understanding?
you think my argument is that if you pull out, you should be unalive?
That's actually, you're saying in that circumstance it was justified because God did it. You
No,
brought that up as
no,
like
no,
an own, and like it owns you.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't saying. Look, I wasn't saying that was the normative. I'm just saying
Well, it
that
has to be.
happened. God.
Can I explain how it has to be normative for you? Because God did it. God's all good. Meaning that, like, if God does something, then it would logically follow that that's normatively what should have done. What you should have done, because he's perfect. He's good. He's all good. He can't do something that's wrong.
No,
Everything that he
no.
does, you should do, because it is the case that he's all knowing,
That's
all
not
powerful,
true.
all good, and perfect. Wait, that's your position.
That's not.
Yes, it
okay,
is.
God claims to be. Okay. God claims to be God, and He says that people should worship Him. So does that mean I should also do the same thing? Obviously not. No Christian would hold to that. So that's a
Wait,
ridiculous argument. to make.
repeat that one
Number
more.
two. Yeah, God said, you said that you made the argument that my position, that the Christian position is that, since God does something, that means that we should do it. Okay, God claims to be God, and He tells people to worship Him. Does that mean I should also go around telling people that they should worship me because God is
You're
commanding people to worship him?
misunderstanding. You want to know why it's not the comparable? Because God is only claiming to claim that you are God if you are God. He's claiming not to be God if you are not God, right? That's different. There's a distinction there, right? Whereas when we're applying it here, he's saying that a human being should have done this. He commanded it to a human being. So you're not providing a good distinction here. Try again.
My point is, just because God does something, that doesn't mean that we also should do the same thing.
Wait, to
like,
clarify,
God gives people.
wait, to clarify, God commanded this person to do it. So that means at least in this circumstance, this should have happened.
No, God himself did. No, God himself did that. God himself unalived a man.
Okay.
He unalived somebody. He unalived a man for spilling his seed on the floor.
Wait.
That does not mean that we should do the same thing. That doesn't mean that we should go around checking to see if people are doing something.
No, but,
then,
but do you
bam,
think do you think that guy should have been killed, right? Because they nut on the ground.
Well, who am I to tell God what he does? I'm not God. God is God. I'm not God. I'm just a Christian. I'm a Catholic.
Yeah, dude, he,
Okay,
he
you're asking-
totally
oh.
thinks it was like he could just swipe it away. Like it was not a big deal that God literally murdered someone because they fucking nut on the ground, dude. That's so unhinged. That's so unhinged.
Well, I mean, first off, yeah, it's a sin. It's a sin to spill your seed. It's a sin to do things. And whatever God decides to be the punishment for your sin.
Okay, so
Because don't get me wrong, God gives mercy. God gives grace. Just because you sin, it doesn't mean you unalive directly. I sinned. You sinned.
Wait,
all
you
of us
just
sinned.
You
Well, you
just
don't believe in
contradicted
God.
yourself. You just said he got unalived because he sinned, but then you don't just get unalived because you've sinned.
Well, no, it's not a contradiction. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, go
Because
ahead.
again, there's gonna be certain punishments that God put. I mean, first off, because the punishment for my sin that I can receive, it might just not be in that direct moment. He just received his punishment in that direct moment. So this really isn't a good argument that you're making. I think we should just move on. Like, yes, I think that just because something isn't sentient, like you got all you pro-choicers, you support. I can't believe you guys run this.
Do you think cannibals
You
should go to
guys
prison?
support Kamala? Huh?
Do you think cannibals should go to prison?
Do I think cannibals should go to prison?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Okay. I have a question. Do you believe that when you're engaging in communion that you're eating the human flesh of God and drinking his blood? Like actually like in a literal sense?
Oh, not this argument.
I'm asking, like, do you think that it's
There's
a literal?
no way. Didn't you run the same argument on well, who was it? I forgot who it was. Jordan Peterson or whatever. I don't know.
Wait.
Anyways, let me
like,
just-
most Christians would say this is figurative. Do you think it's literal?
I believe that the body and blood of the communion turns into the literal body of Christ. That's fine.
Literal. Okay.
But-
so that you're a cannibal, so you should be
but
sent to
it's-
prison?
Well, I'm not a cannibal because I'm
No,
still
because
drinking.
you're drinking human blood and you're eating human flesh. You're a cannibal, right? So clearly you should be sent to prison.
Okay, so number one, this is a critique on the Catholic position. Number one, you don't know anything about Catholic theology. Let me just teach you something a little bit.
Go ahead.
The appearance of the blood and wine stays the same. It's still blood and wine. The substance changes. I don't know if you know anything about philosophy, but the accidents of the blood and bread, I mean the bread and wine still stay the same. So we're not eating, human cells and like blood cells. It's still bread and wine.
Wait,
So
wrong.
that it
Wait,
becomes
wrong. You said it was literal human blood and literal human flesh. That's what you said.
in the sense that the substance changes into the same substance that Christ was.
Okay,
right?
so to clarify,
the substance of the
so
blood
it's
and wine
literal
changes to the
human
same
blood and
substance.
literal human flesh. To clarify.
Yeah, the literal substance of it changes. The appearance stays the same, though. The appearance stays the same.
That's okay, but
So it's still
okay, so to
it's still
clarify,
it's still
so-
wine.
So if
it's still wine
so-
and it's
so to
still
clarify.
bread. It's just that the substance of that bread and wine
So-
changes. That's the only difference.
Okay, so because you think this is literal, this is distinct from what most Christians view as on the matter. Most Christians' view on the matter is that it's symbolic,
Yeah, but
which is totally
my
fine.
point is
Wait,
that
hold up, can I
my
clarify?
point is that the accidents. Hold on one second.
is that it's symbolic. In that context, obviously they don't consider themselves a cannibal. but you hold a unique perspective where you think it's the literal human blood and literal human flesh of God, which specifically would make yourself a
Oh
cannibal.
my goodness. This is literally the same critique that the people in the first century accused the Catholics of. Oh, they drink the blood, they're vampires. No, we're not cannibals. We don't believe we're cannibals. We don't state we're cannibals. Nobody holds this position as Catholic that we're cannibals, and even some low church
What is a
even
cannibal?
Protestants would agree. Someone that eats human cells and drink human blood.
Okay.
We don't
To
eat. We
clarify,
don't do that.
can I
We don't do
clarify?
that.
Can I
It's
clarify?
still blood and wine.
Hey,
It's
okay.
still blood and wine.
Blood.
It's still bread and wine. It doesn't
Hold up.
change. It's a human cells.
Hold up.
The accidental properties stay the same. The appearance stays the same.
I
It's
understand.
still
Listen.
bread and wine.
Well,
the
listen.
substance changes. That's
understand.
it. That's
What-
all we're saying.
So to clarify, so is it symbolic or is it literal?
Are you asking me is what symbolic? Are you telling me
No,
the
no.
substance changed? Yes, that's literal.
Is that
the substance
and,
actually
and by
changes?
so
That's our belief.
so
That's our belief.
Are you saying the substance is no different than human flesh and human blood?
The substance is no different than what Christ was. He was physical. He was God. So that's what the Eucharist becomes.
So to clarify, he was human and God, correct? Like he had a human body.
Yes.
He had
Yes.
human biology. He had human blood. He had human flesh.
Yes.
So if it
Yes.
turns into the substance of God, that would mean that it's the real human flesh and the real human blood, right?
Yeah, sure.
Which would then mean that you're a cannibal. So then you should be sent to prison under your own view.
Oh my goodness. Do you really think this is a good argument? Do you
Yeah,
really think
yeah,
this
like-
is a good argument?
Yeah, you're like under your own view, you're a cannibal and a vampire. Like you actually brought it up yourself. You drink the blood
See, this
of
is
human
the same
beings
critique that
and
the
you
Jews
eat their
made against the
flesh.
Christians in the first century. But buddy, do you not
Dude,
do you
he has
not
no
think that we already
response.
had this? Wait, do
No
you not
response.
think that we already had
No response, by the way. I just want to clarify. You can easily get around this just by saying that it's symbolic. That's all you have to say. That's literally all you have to, and you can't do it.
This is the same critique that the Jews made against us in the first, second century.
Dude,
Do
can you just say it's symbolic? Just say it's symbolic. Don't say it's literal. Say it's symbolic, bro. Come on, please. This is
this
such
guy
an
wants to turn
unhinged
me-
position.
He wants to make me a Protestant. No, sir. I'm not going to say it's symbolic. It's the literal blood and human flesh of Christ.
Okay, then you're a
But what I
cannibal.
mean by that-
Then
hold
you're
on,
a
one second.
cannibal, and under your own view,
What?
you should be sent to prison.
Okay. Have you read any basic philosophy on have you read any basic metaphysics? I don't think you have. So you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know the doctrine of transubstantiation. You don't know what the Catholics believe. So stop trying to argue theology. Stop trying to claim me to be a cannibal. You don't know what I believe.
Obviously, in order for me to be able to provide the critique in the very first place, I have to know something about about your position in the first place. Okay. So again, that's why I was able to even ask you this question, because I do know that this position logically entails from
okay.
yours.
Yeah, but
Oh my gosh, would you like to respond to it?
Stop critiquing Catholicism. You don't know anything
I
about
got you.
it. Goodbye.
So stop using Catholicism to force people to live a certain way in terms of reality. If you don't want me to, in the live about this, talk about your religious beliefs, then don't use your religious beliefs as a justification for why women should lose their rights. How about you try that for once? He left. He ran away. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I'm
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18. I was born in 07.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, why so?
Okay. Well, real quick, I just wanted to say I do respect you and everything. Like, obviously, I follow you and stuff. But, like, it's just, I was just grown up conservative. And so, like, but, like, I kind of get both sides. But, holy shit, I'm so nervous. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You want to know something interesting? I grew up conservative as well. I grew up in a Christian
Yeah.
conservative household. I was conservative for most of my life. In high school, I was even a Trump supporter, right? And my views have changed over time. That's why I do these types of lives in the very first place, is that like I realized that my mind could have been changed, and that's true for plenty of
Yeah.
people out there. So then like this same thing could be true for you. So what is the reason, what is the motivation for why you support Donald Trump right now?
Well, because it like there's a lot of arguments going around about like the deportation and stuff, and like I kind of, oh my gosh, okay. I like kind of support it because like a few years ago, well, not well, it was like a year ago, I was almost abducted by illegals in a random Walmart because we're
Undocumented
in the
immigrants.
South.
And now, in terms of this,
Well,
I'm really sorry to hear that. That's incredibly sorry. I'm sorry to hear
yeah,
that. You shouldn't generalize that on all undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit violent crime,
yeah,
drug crime, property crime in the United States. If
yeah. I'm sorry.
like in any other circumstance where violent crimes happen where there are US citizens that commit them, we don't make generalizations. We don't think it's justified to make generalizations on the entirety of US citizens just because some US citizens do that, even though it is the case that US citizens have a higher rate of committing violent crime comparative to comparative to undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, but and so like I don't know, like if like I just feel a lot safer right now, like just going out because I don't have to look over my shoulder anymore. But can you tell me why Kamala would be a better president than Trump?
For sure. Is it possible I can thank some people real quick and then I'll get to that real quick?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Take your time, Parker.
Thank you. Josh, thank you so much for the $6. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Prince Mayflower. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Jaden with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Beth, thank you so much for the $25. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Beth. Marine, thank you for the $15. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I got you. I got you. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate it. Catherine, thank you so much for the $3.33. Thank you. And then also, I think I'm caught up there. Again, everyone, you can always support me. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the bio, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Let me make sure I'm caught up on YouTube Super Chat, everyone. Real quick, real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, everyone. Alrighty. Sage, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hello, thank you so much for the $5. Really appreciate it. Fiona with the $5. Thank you so much. Talia, thank you so much for the $2. Jeeve, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the $10. I think I'm caught up for everything on YouTube. Alrighty. So yeah, I think Kamala Harris is better than Donald Trump because it is the case that she had policy that would be beneficial to the low and middle class. Thank you so much for the hand heart. Like for example, the $6,000 child tax credit on the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18, the $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, the $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, $35 cap on insulin per month for everyone, not just people who are on Medicare. And those were policies that were beneficial to the low and middle class, whereas Donald Trump's policies, like for example, the big beautiful bill, right, are going to decrease after-tax income for the lowest quintile. It's going to harm people in the lowest quintile to benefit, very, very well-off people who already have a lot of money. So it's taking money from the poor and giving to the rich. Literally reverse Robin Hood.
Okay. And what about the border? Will that still be secured, or if she was
So like
running?
the idea that like the border is not secure, right, under a Democratic administration, I think is ridiculous because one of the things I disagree with them on, which Republicans would think that this is insane on, is that like I don't think people who are in the country who are undocumented, who have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes should be deported. But Democrats are still holding to that position. So the idea that Democrats hold to a quote unquote open border, I think is a ridiculous position that they hold to an open border. They clearly don't. The reason why there were more people coming to the country was because of economic insecurity that existed around the world due to global inflation that was related to supply chain issues because of the pandemic and not because of the president of the United States.
Okay. And then with the whole abortion thing, I'm not going to get too much into that because I saw the first debate and that made me lose my brain. But it's, oh my gosh, I lost my words. I'm so sorry, Parker.
You're fine, don't worry.
Whew. It's just that, so in my family, there have been like cases of like abortion, like in my family timeline and stuff. And it's just that like my older sister recently got one. And like I'm kind of like in the middle to where I'm like, okay, like at some points like it is okay, but then some it's like not. Like my sister got one, I think her 3rd trimester, which to me that was borderline just straight wrong in my opinion. But I was listening to what that Theo dude and you were debating about when it came to abortion and stuff. And
Okay, wait, can you clarify and go back to your point there? I just want to clarify. Go back one more time and go over what you just said, because I didn't fully follow. Go back quick. You said something about the third trimester.
yes, like she straight up killed her baby.
In the third trimester?
Yes.
What week? In pregnancy?
I don't know because I don't really keep in touch. That's just what I heard from my stepdad. Which I mean, it went around the whole like family, like it was the same story and everything. So
Yeah. So at that point, it would just be an induction of labor. Did you know that? Like it wouldn't lead to the death of the fetus. It would be an induction of labor. So the idea that
Okay.
she engaged in a lethal abortion in the third trimester, I really don't believe, to be honest.
okay, well, I mean, I was just going by what everybody said in my family, so
Sure.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But it's just like I don't know. Oh crap! I lost my train of thought.
You're totally fine.
Oh my gosh, it's just that I don't know. Like I grew up in a very Christian household, and just like so, obviously, my beliefs are abortion is wrong, but I get it from like a different like standpoint, like from other people. Like my best friend just had to get one for medical reasons and everything, and but like I don't agree with it 100%. Can you tell me like why? So in some cases, it is okay to get an abortion.
Yeah, because it is medical reasons for sure, because it's self-defense. In situations of rape, because they didn't cause the pregnancy, there's no causal obligation. And then in terms of situations where they're elective, there's literally no sentience, right? Prior to the point of 20 to 24 weeks. And around the point of 22 to 26 weeks is the point in which there is viability. So there's going to be just an induction of labor. So around the point in which the fetus gains sentience is also around the point in which it gains viability, meaning that they wouldn't, be engaging in a lethal abortion after that point, because they can just cause early birth, if that makes sense. But the reason why is because sentience, it's your subjective experience, how you're experiencing things right now. That's what we consider valuable within human beings. Because it is the case that, like, for example, once family members become brain dead, meaning their subjective experience is never coming back, we acknowledge they're medically dead from a scientific perspective, and we don't consider it murder to pull the plug on individuals in our families that have become brain dead. Because it is the case that we value the subjective experience aspect of someone. That's what you think of when you think of like a person. You think of Parker, you're thinking of my subjective experience. You're not just thinking of my body, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm at work. I'm on break. But yeah, like I don't know, just like it's just like when the Democrat Party, like the way I see it is that y'all are forced, like not like you specifically or Dean, but like some people that I personally know like push it and everything. Like if me and my boyfriend were to get pregnant, they're like, well, you have to get one. You're too young. You can't afford it. Da 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 da. And they have went around and have like, I think
I wouldn't
somebody.
say something like that. If you don't want to get an abortion, you want to take care of the kid, that's up to you. That's your choice. That's the point of being pro-choice. We're not trying to enforce any type of opinions or options on someone, right? We're trying to say, hey, these are the things to consider, and then you get to decide based upon these things to consider.
Okay, well, I'm so sorry this wasn't an actual debate. I
You're
just
good.
wanted you to change my mind
Of course.
on some things. But thank you for your time. I do have to go.
Appreciate
I'm
you
so
coming up.
sorry.
Appreciate you coming up. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Mig, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Mig's Eye, thank you so much. I really appreciate it for enjoying your channel and learning how to talk about these issues to conservative friends and family. You're doing a wonderful service, Parker. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo,
How old are you?
keep up the great work, Parker, bro.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's go into the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Please, everybody, only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Oh, cheeks. There's
Oh, I just X'd them out as soon as they said that. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
26.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Why so?
It's easy, man. I mean, he's the savior of our country, and he's doing things that we need to happen.
1 second, real quick, Nathan. That's a diabolical position. John, how old are you?
22.
And do you support Donald Trump?
Of course.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
All right, let's go through
I'm an
this.
American. I'm an American.
Okay. All right.
Are
So
you an American?
yeah, John, I'm an American.
And you don't like Trump, huh?
It's
weird. It's weird how that works.
Yeah. Can I ask Nathan what his birthday is real quick? Nathan, how old are you?
I'm 26.
And you said, what's your birth year?
My birth year, 99.
Okay, for sure. Julia, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Julia. Okay. So, Nathan, you said that Donald Trump is the savior of this country. Can you please...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so I mean, from Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't do nothing for this country. He made a bunch of illegals
He
coming
made it
in.
worse. He made it worse.
He made it worse for the illegals coming in, and Trump is doing what's right and need to get all these illegals out of this country.
So one
That's one thing.
one undocumented
That's
immigrant.
just one. That's just the little water floating on the tip of the iceberg. That ain't even the whole tip of the iceberg, buddy.
Okay. Okay. So, one, undocumented immigrants. Don't call people illegals. I think that's a pretty dehumanizing term. Secondly, what would be wrong with more people coming to the country under Joe Biden?
It needs to, the thing is, it's like, let me ask you this. Okay, what happens if someone breaks in your house? What should happen?
Well, if someone breaks in my house, I think that they should be held accountable by the law because I appreciate the gold medal. Thank you for the gold medal. Because I think it's my personal property. I don't think someone coming into my country would be them violating anyone's personal property. So, like,
But
for
the
example,
thing is,
when
you
when
don't
they
know
break
what's
into my
going on.
house, I'm the victim of them breaking into my house. When they come into the
But we
country
all live in this
undocumented, who's the victim of that?
But we all live in this country, so all of us, this is our country, and it's illegal to come into this country illegally.
So are we all
why can't
victims?
you get a green card?
So are we all victims?
Yeah, if they're
Oh,
breaking
okay.
into our country,
So
it's our country.
explain to me how I'm a victim of an undocumented immigrant.
It's simple. Like, the thing is, it's illegal to come in this country illegally when it's easy to get a green card. The thing is, though, it's the same thing as someone breaking into your house to commit. A lot of these illegals are, murderers and sexual abusers and stuff. So how do you know that if they break into your house, the illegal immigrant breaks into your house and you have to defend yourself, it's still illegal anyway it goes because you live in this country, this great American country that needs to have legal obligations to come into this country. It is illegal for it to happen, and you need to understand that.
One, it's not easy to get in the country. It takes 5 to 7 years on average, and often over $10,000 for people to get in the country, which I think is incredibly ridiculous. That should not be taking that long. So it makes sense for people to try to come through the process undocumented, right? And if someone's in the country undocumented, they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, I see no good reason to deport them. I think they should be in the country. They did come based upon people wanting them to be here, push the coral, as there are people like me within the country that want them here. Okay, so the idea here that I'm a victim of undocumented immigration just because they came to the country undocumented or quote unquote without authorization is ridiculous because I'm granting them authorization as a United States citizen. And, plenty of other people in my chat are doing
What
the
gives
same
you
thing.
the
Wait, we're U.S. citizens. You said that we're victims, right? We're people within the household. Well, if someone came to my household, right, and I authorized them to be within my household, well, then it would be totally fine for them to be in my household, right?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Someone was calling me.
Yeah, if someone came to my house and I authorized them to be within my house, would that be okay?
Depends. Why do you need them there?
Depends? We're talking about my own property. What do you mean it depends?
Yeah, I guess they can enter your house, but the thing is, though, is that you have no authority to bring an illegal in this country. It's not about who enters your house.
Undocumented immigrant. Okay, so it's about authority. Okay, well then we're saying like who should have the authority, right? Because who has the authority within a household might not always be who should have the authority. Do you agree?
Who should have the authority in your own household?
Well, for example, right, within your household, let's say someone within your household has you at gunpoint. They have the authority within the household. But clearly, it is the case that they shouldn't have that authority because they're utilizing a gun to get that authority. Okay?
Such a bullshit
that,
straw man, dude.
that would be an example of how, like, again, someone shouldn't have authority in that context, yet still does, and we would argue, oh, they shouldn't, right, have that authority. Okay, so this is my position. This is what I'm extrapolating from that, right? Given that it is the case that you could have a position where someone within a certain area, right, shouldn't have authorization, well, then we'd be clear what people should have authorization, what people shouldn't have authorization under our own view, right? And I would say people who are in the country undocumented who haven't committed violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship and should not be deported. I think that's ridiculous. James, thank you for the $5 Canadian. Thank you.
So let me elaborate on this. So the thing is though, is that you know for a fact it is a law that not come in illegally, correct? You know it's not. You know it's a law not to do that, right? It's against the law to do that. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
So you're supporting right now of people breaking the law. You know that, right?
Literally, that's the whole Democratic Party. They just love
breaking the
people
law.
breaking the law.
Okay, well, I just want to let you know, you voted for a convicted criminal held civilly liable of sexually abusing woman that pardoned people who beat police officers on January 6th, who were
Dude,
convicted of it,
straw man,
admitted to
straw
it.
man.
Yeah, not a
Straw
straw man. Obviously not a straw man. Engage with that point. You're supporting
Red
people.
herring.
You're,
Red herring.
you're supporting a person right now who is a criminal.
Have you actually looked at the case, Parker? Because the thing is, he's still the president. He has been convicted to go to jail. So the thing is, every woman in that trial,
Exactly.
everyone that happened in that trial, they all already said that they lied about everything. It's all
No,
false
that's
and
not
fake
true.
news.
So everyone
Then
said they lied?
Why is he sitting,
What?
Why is he sitting in jail?
I just
Why
want
is he not sitting in jail?
Okay, so
You tell me, because
he-
I've read the case.
Okay, you have. I guarantee you have not. I would put money that you have not because I know this for a fact because it is the case that he's been convicted, he's been sentenced. The only reason he's not in prison is because he was elected president of the United States. That's literally the reason. They didn't sentence him to prison because he was elected president of the United States, and that's for his felonies. For being held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, it's because it's a civil court, not a criminal court. Why is it a civil court, not a criminal court? Because the statute of limitations on criminal courts, which shouldn't exist in situations when we're referencing sexual assault, because it takes decades for victims to come out in plenty of scenarios.
Okay, you tell me where it's a law saying just because you're elected president where you can't go to jail. You show me the law where that says that, because it doesn't say. There's no law out there.
Well, if you actually read the case, you would know that they specifically didn't want to put him in jail because it is the case that he was elected.
See that the thing is though, that's false.
You didn't
You
read
have
the case.
no.
You didn't read
You've
the
not
case.
showed me any proof.
Read the case.
You've not shown me any proof.
I told you the case. Look at the case.
Okay, I do have one question though about something that happened just a couple days ago that I
Like-
think it's serious and
I want him to read what the judge said, though, and then come back, and I'll talk to this guy while you do that. Go ahead, John.
I was just wondering, man, because you know, I love Trump and everything he's been doing, and that's my go-to guy. But I don't know what's going on with this whole Epstein thing that just happened a couple days ago. And I don't really know what to think about that, man. There's a whole bunch of me and my buddies are in the same boat. I love him. I love Trump, but I don't know why he would be trying. I don't know why he. And I did see the video of when Pam Bondi got asked or something. He said something like, "Oh, why are you still talking about Epstein?" That was weird to me. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on right now, and I want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. So, like, isn't that like a big issue? Like that he's trying to, undermine everything that's being talked about.
Yeah. Do you think
The way he called him a creep, like, obviously he was uncomfortable in that circumstance. It was all like kind of weird almost.
I mean, yeah, but he's a creep, dude.
Well, obviously, so is Trump himself, right? I'm saying that the way he called him a creep.
Yeah, no, I know.
It seemed like he was like
weird. I didn't like that
uncomfortable.
answer. I didn't like his answer, but I just can't see. Like, do you think who's the people behind this that are making him not do that? Does he have his hands tied behind? Do you think they threatened him? They threatened Trump? Because I couldn't see Trump doing that. Do you think that the global elites threatened Trump and told him, "Hey, you release this, and it's over"?
I don't think that's it at all. No, I think that there's probably, if Trump isn't releasing it, it's probably because he's there. Like that's
Well,
actually
why
like the
did
most.
Biden release it then?
That's the most likely explanation would be if he's not releasing it, if it's that he's not there, or that he's specifically, or it's that it doesn't exist. Those are the two.
Why didn't Biden
explanations.
release it then? If he
Two explanations are that I could think of in my head. One would be that there's someone that's on there that's Democratic and it has affiliations with it, and that would be bad on behalf of Biden. Like that's a huge
Okay.
issue, right? And then secondly,
that
in
makes
terms of this, the
sense.
other one would be that it doesn't exist, right? And in the situation in which it doesn't exist, well, then obviously there's nothing that he did wrong. But I have no issue with
What doesn't
acknowledging
exist?
fault on behalf of Biden or any specific Democrat that would have, known about this information and not, told the public. Another thing is that he
That,
didn't.
wait, you said that what doesn't exist?
What?
You said that it doesn't exist. Like the files themselves, you don't like the.
I said that would be a good explanation for why we specifically have not seen it. Is that there might not be one on it that they can access.
Well, I don't believe. I think that it was 100%. I think that everyone knows that people know that he had a whole operation going on with politicians and businessmen.
Wait, no one's disputing that, but we're saying that authorities have access to it. Push the paper crane.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen pictures of all that quote unquote evidence. They had knows so much, and how does all that? It's just all videos and pictures of Epstein himself. Like he didn't have any.
So
He didn't have any videos or any pictures or anything of any other powerful people.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know completely based upon the information that we have. I would assume that there probably was based upon the types of relations that exist. So that's my thoughts on the matter, but we don't know because we don't really have the information.
Well, I'm just kind of upset right now that he made it seem like they're trying to bury it and they're trying to ignore it. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
It also makes me
I think this
upset.
is probably the biggest scandal in America, one of the biggest scandals in American history.
Okay, well then
That we had a
why do you support
pedophile
Trump?
who was. Because I love him. He's the dude. He's doing everything right. And I think, honestly, maybe this is played out bigger. I think that Trump has a bigger plan to this. And maybe he's just saying this. And then here in a little bit, the global elites, he'll get him riled up and he'll drop the Epstein files.
Okay, why would he wait? And why was he good friends with him? He said he was a terrific guy and that he likes beautiful women as much as he does. Many of them on the
Maybe
younger
they
side.
had certain things in interest. But then once he
like
found out
women
that,
on the
well,
younger side.
once he found out that Epstein was doing weird things with little girls, he went to the FBI and helped the FBI get
Really?
him.
Can you show me a source? Slick, thank you for the £2.
Look it up, dude. I've seen it just yesterday online.
Go ahead, provide it. Source up.
I don't know how.
You don't know how to get a source?
Hey, literally, dude, the FBI literally went to Trump and asked him to help him. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he went to them. You said that he, as soon as he figured out that Epstein was doing stuff,
Well,
he went to the FBI.
He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, dude.
Oh, okay. Why didn't he go to the police then at that time?
He worked with the police, dude.
No, he didn't. Provide me any evidence that he took that information to the police.
You can see it all online for free, man.
And would you like to
Listen, do you
if
think
you
he
if
was
you
on
can,
that
if you can
island?
go if you can go find it for free, well then you should go find it real quick and come back and show us.
Do you think he was on that island?
respond to me, go find that source.
Okay, well, we can talk about something else, little guy.
Oh, you're scared, bro. You can't find that source, huh?
I'm on my phone right now. I don't have another.
You can
Another
swipe
device.
out.
I'm
You
not
can
some
swipe out and I'll talk
tech
to someone
wizard. I
else.
don't know how to do all this tech shit.
You're not a wizard? Are you trolling?
I'm not a tech wizard, buddy.
Are you trolling? You don't have to be a tech wizard to swipe out of the app and go fucking look at at Google, dude.
I don't know how that's gonna implicate on my TikTok device, bro. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
You just have to swipe up.
I spend my life outside doing manual work. I don't spend my life in here on TikTok fucking doing shit.
That's what you're doing right now.
Because I'm on break, dude. And I wanted to talk to someone who's on the left side about what they
manual
think about
labor do you
Epstein.
do? What manual labor do you do?
Whole bunch of shit. Move shit, bury shit, dig shit, cut shit.
Just shit?
Anything outside I do.
Just shit?
Huh?
Just shit? Only
Trees, lumber, bark,
Oh,
concrete,
okay.
dirt.
shit? Alongside shit?
This guy said in the chat, manual labor is so easy, LMFAO. Yeah, go outside, buddy, and try it for one day. You would be coming back in here crying like a little girl. You don't even know what I go through on a daily basis, dipshit.
Okay, so dude, okay, that's fine. I don't know why you felt like reading that comment. That was interesting. You know, you're just gonna get people to do that more in the comment section, right? Because they want you to keep crying.
I don't care. I just turned off the clear display thing. I can't even see the comments anymore. I don't care what they say. They don't have anything good to say. They're not even intellects.
So interesting. You knew how to clear display, but you don't know how to use
Huh?
TikTok.
Yeah, because I've done that before.
Really? But you don't know how to swipe out of your app and go
I
look
can
at
swipe
Google.
out of my app, but I'm not able to speak while I'm out of it.
Okay, but you can go look, find it, remember, and then come
And
back to the app.
also, I was looking for it a couple days ago. But when you look up anything on Trump Epstein, whenever I look up anything about Trump Epstein now, it's all about the shit that happened 2 days ago. So I can't even find the source anymore because it's buried so deep. It's literally the global elites. Like I'm telling you right now, they're trying to take it off the internet.
I have a question. Do you think the global elites control all media?
For the most part in America.
Okay. Would that mean that they control social media as well?
I don't know. I mean, you can post whatever you want on social media, right, little guy?
Well, wouldn't you think that I'm controlled then?
Oh, you're definitely controlled. I mean, I can tell by your answer there. You're definitely controlled.
What makes you think I'm
Controlled
controlled?
opposition. Probably a CIA plant.
Oh, so you think I'm a CIA plant? What makes you think I'm a CIA
Do you think
plant?
the CIA is a good thing?
Do I think that the CIA throughout history has done a lot of horrible things? Could there be a role for an intelligence agency such as the CIA? Yes, but I definitely disagree with a lot of what the CIA has done historically. But if you want to reference me being a quote unquote CIA plant, what makes you think that?
No, you're wearing an all black shirt sitting with the all
Shut
black
up.
chair right behind
Stop,
you.
dude. Can you give me like an actual reason?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like you guys just came up out of nowhere. You and your little butt buddy there, Dean, just came up out of nowhere, kind of exploded on the internet.
So
It's weird, kind of like you guys
I'll
got
let you
planted
know.
by the CIA.
I'll let you know. I have been here since 2020, August 2020. So I'm almost about 5 years on this app. Here in about a month, it'll be my 5th year on this app making content. Cliff, thank you so much for the racing helmet. Almost half a decade. Dean, in the past few years, has started making content. So I mean, how come we came at different times? How come I
Dude,
came
we're not
like
talking about your little
3
butt
years
buddy
before?
Dean. Huh?
How come I came 3 years before?
You came 3 years before. I don't even know what you're talking about. I just saw you this past year all over everything I do on my interweb.
That means I've done a lot to be able to be put in front of people. That doesn't mean I'm a CIA plant. So think about it this way. I think it would be obviously ridiculous for you to believe that I'm a CIA plant, but it would be logically necessitated given a model that it is the case that all media is owned. Right, and like I know for certain that that's not true because like, I'm some random kid from fucking Iowa. I literally grew up in Iowa. I'm some random kid that decided to like post on TikTok someday because I really liked putting shit out there. I thought it would make the world a better place to critique things, right? And I genuinely like debating people, and that's what led to me making content, right? I used to literally go on Omegle
That's what you
and
probably
just
want
debate
your little
people.
supporters to believe.
Oh, okay. So you think I just like created some story? I'm
Probably what. I mean, I don't know, man. You know that about like 10% of all media journalists are probably CIA plants. I read that online. It's a true fact.
Yeah. You just read that where online?
No, seriously, you can look that up. About like around
look it up where?
10% of people who are involved with Google. Go to the interweb and look it up. Is that your Google there, or is that your little diary? What do you write in the little diary?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. So here's page 1. This is the only page that exists.
What is that? Popcorn. What is that? What the hell is that? Tanner? Who's Tanner? Scott Vitska? What is that? Complete idiots?
Yep.
Iron?
Yep. And there's something called a Trust Me Bro pen. Here, hold up. Sorry, I have to do it this way. Trust Me Bro pen.
What is that?
And I'm
whole
about
thing?
to use this
What
right now.
is that book, dude?
What's your name? John?
Mr. Nix. What is that little diary book, dude? What do you do with that thing?
Well, I write specifically people within it.
It's your little Death Note diary.
Like anyone who is just insane on the live that I talk to, that is ridiculous and absurd.
I'm insane because I'm speaking factual evidence proof. Like, get a grip of your life.
So
Weirdo.
you didn't speak facts. You just said that I was a CIA plant. Okay, you genuinely thought I was a CIA plant.
Okay.
If you think that I'm a CIA
everyone in here,
plant,
people, everyone in here.
yeah, people who
You
can't
might think
provide
it's funny, you might think it's a joke, but wait until the truth comes out. Your eyes will be awakened.
the truth comes out. Wait, so my eyes will be awakened to the fact that I am a CIA plant? What the hell are you talking about?
Do you believe in any conspiracy theories? Do you think conspiracy theories are something people should think about more? Or do you think that people should just believe everything they're told by the government? What do you think, buddy?
Actually, when you believe conspiracy theories, you're believing whatever someone tells you on fucking TikTok. Okay, you're believing
Well, what if
you're
I've seen
like
not
literally
just what someone told me, but what if I've seen with my own eyes a whole
Zuki,
bunch of
thank you
things
so much
and
for
I
the five
connect the dots, and I'm like,
the
huh.
five
Like the
pounds,
Epstein
thank you.
thing, like we were talking about,
Well,
that
here,
they're trying to blow that off now as a
I just want to be
conspiracy
clear.
theory.
I just want to be clear. Like, okay, when you're talking about you've experienced this or something, that's not going to be something that we can verify in terms of information. So you have to provide something in a dialogue that we can verify in terms of information.
Do you think Epstein was a Mossad agent?
No. Jade, thank you for the
Really?
$10. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much for the $2.
So you don't think that it was a
Eli, thank you
blackmail
so much for the
operation?
$20. Thank you so much. And Najia, thank you so much. I appreciate the $20. Thank you so much on Cash App. I really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for supporting the CIA Deep State Fund.
Yeah, keep joking about something that's really going on. It's sad.
I'm not
There's
joking.
something called evil. There's something called evil, and there's something
I'm
called
not
good
hey,
spirits.
hey dude, I'm not joking. I am a
All I
CIA.
know is that I'm on the side of Jesus Christ. And
I just want to let you know. I just muted everyone. No one else can hear us on the live right now. It's just us right now. I just muted everything. I am a CIA industry plant. You can't actually talk about this on the live. That's not allowed. Okay. You're not supposed to talk about this. I am a CIA industry plant. I mean, that happened like a few years ago. They just came to me in like
Really?
these suits. Yeah, they came to me in these suits and they're like, "Bro,
Can people still hear us or no?
no, they can't."
So when did that happen?
Well,
Were they giving you good money?
yeah, dude.
This is really fucking creepy right now, dude.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I I should come clean to you before we.
Oh, you're
continue.
joking shit. The whole fucking chat. I know you're not. I know you're just fucking.
What do you mean? The whole chat's saying they can't hear and unmute right now. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I'm not that dumb, buddy.
It's literally the whole chat is saying muted, bro. Come on, like let me explain.
Yeah,
this to you first.
yeah. Okay.
Can I explain
Yeah,
it
for
first?
sure. I'm not believing this. This is just more propaganda.
Dude,
shit that you
it's
guys try
just
to do
it's
every
literally
day.
it's just us. What do you mean it's more propaganda? I'm a
You want to keep doing? You want to keep?
I'm
doing
admitting to you
propaganda?
I'm a CIA industry plant, dude. Come on.
Yeah, but I just caught on to you there because a real CIA agent wouldn't say that.
Why? I muted everyone. Look, everyone has me on mute right now.
Yeah, but now I'm gonna go expose you.
No, you're not. You can't expose me. That's not possible.
Listen, dude.
And if you
Do you
do,
think-
I'll just gaslight you, dude. I'll seriously just
Listen,
gaslight
do you not think that what happened there on that island was a blackmail operation to keep people in power in check?
No. No. I actually I
You think Buddy was just doing it for the love of the game?
I actually think that we need evidence for things before we believe them. I don't think the entirety of the thing was a blackmail operation, but I do think that blackmail was used within it. There are multiple different aspects to it that are relevant. But if we want to talk about the fact that I'm a CIA industry plant, let me finish this, okay? So they came to me.
Dude, you're a fucking moron.
How so?
I don't know. You're just starting to really piss me the hell off right now.
Why?
Because you're being a fucking dipshit.
Why?
You're fucking pissing me the hell off.
How so?
Because you're just saying shit that you know is not even real. Like, dude, what are you talking about? You're just pulling shit out of your asshole and spreading it all over the fucking microphone.
So are you
dipshit.
so are you agreeing that calling me a CIA industry plant is just taking shit out of my ass and throwing it at the wall?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but I'm not really worried about that at the end of the day because I got my own life to deal with.
that's
I got
why you-
Jesus
and
Christ
that's why
to
you
deal
brought
with
it up.
every single day. Talk to Jesus Christ to make sure that I'm still going to heaven.
And that's why you brought it up, right? And you've spoke to Jesus
A few times,
a few. What did you guys speak about? What did you talk about?
especially when I've been on certain shroom-like things. Definitely spoke to him.
Okay, I think I have to kick you now, dude.
Why? Mushrooms?
Definitely got to kick you now. It's me, I'm Mario. Let's go on to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
23.
Do you support Donald Trump?
So I just had something to say to John.
I appreciate you. I'm just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Thank you for the hand art. Thank you so much, Kathy. Rainey, thank you so much for the $30 for this is a secret payment from the CIA. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Ryan, thank you for the $1. Thank you. Hannah with the $2. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Hannah. Yeah, of course. Like, it's like actually crazy that people generalize that. Sydney, thank you so much for the $1.21 for the CIA notebook. And then Mariah, thank you so much. I appreciate the $10. Thank you. Phoenix, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Why are you exposing our organization's secret, man? Wait, no, I was muted. What are you talking about? You have audio?
Oh my god, bro. Dude, that Knicks guy, that was hilarious, bro.
Absolute fucking cinema. Okay, let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. You know what's up, how old are you? Okay, let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. You know what's up, how old are you?
84.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
You said you're 84?
Yup.
What's your birth year?
1829.
Can you give me your actual age? Come on.
All right. I'm 22.
What's your birth year?
My birth year is 2003.
Okay. All right. Why do you support Donald Trump?
Because, well, first off, I don't believe in abortion, which Kamala does.
Kamala.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so is that it?
No, there's also a few other things. I agree with some things that Trump does. I don't agree with some things that Trump does. But mostly I do agree with things he does.
Like?
Which is like when he for example, bombed Iran. Yes, I agree with that. By taking out their nuclear powers and their nuclear sources.
Okay. All right, can I ask you a question? Do you support funding Ukraine?
No.
Okay. Well, you support offensive conflicts on behalf of Israel, right? That the U.S. is involved in, but not defending Ukraine, a country that we have an agreement with to defend. Oh, he left. By the way, everyone, I was also going to make this point. I'm pretty sure Trump went back on doing that. Trump went back on funding Ukraine and started funding him again. I'm pretty sure he did that. So that's a really funny thing that we're going to see Trump supporters swap on. All Trump supporters are going to be in support of the Ukraine funding now. So it's good that he did that. But like the level of fucking, the fact that it took him this long to realize that he had to do that is crazy. Let's go on to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go on to the next person. Cliff, thank you so much for the glasses, by the way. Thank you. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, everyone. Let's go on to the next person. Please, everybody, only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Push the hand art. Thank you.
How we doing, Parker?
Yeah. Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, why so?
I talked to you yesterday a little bit. Remember?
I'm sorry. I am just looking for some new debates. Anyone who hasn't been here yet can send a guest request. If you've been here before, I want to make sure to get on to someone new, especially because you just debated me yesterday. You, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yep.
Okay, why so?
You're born in the United States yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever lived in another country other than the United States?
I'm sorry.
You
Wait, what?
personally.
No. What's your birth year though?
Okay. Me?
Yeah.
I'm from the 90.
You said what?
I'm from 90. From 2090. You're asking me how old am I, right?
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
What do you look at my picture? Look at my name. That's my glorious king right there, Donald Trump.
Okay. But before we talk to you, the person whose name is Trump is our savior, I just want to address the last person who was from the future. Well, that was nuts. I should have asked some questions, Chad. I should have asked them about the future. I heard 2090. I genuinely, I'm not quite sure. I wasn't sure if they were trying to say the 90s, but I don't know. So yeah, do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. Why do you support Donald Trump?
Well, I like numerous reasons. The border control is very important. I like the funding of the ICE. We got basically 2 military superpowers in the world now. Yeah, but hey, I want to talk about something you said earlier. He said you spoke about. Here, let me one sec. I just pulled it up.
Hello. Okay. So I mean, I'll talk about you saying fun dice.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm good.
Have I talked to you before, brother?
What?
Have I talked to you before?
About a week and a half ago. Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing on my live? Get off. Only send a guest request if you're new here, everyone. I'm just looking for some debates. I just said this. You know, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
November.
You'd be. You said you're how old?
18.
Okay. And you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Why so?
I like his immigration policy. More specifically,
Wait, you did
I
say
like that he
19.
stopped
Why'd you say
illegal.
19? You lied.
I never said 19. I said 18. I don't know why people would think that.
Really? You want me to click back on the live stream?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why so?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm good.
Have I talked?
2006.
What month?
Here, let me one sec. I just pulled it up.
Hello. Okay. So I mean, I'll talk about you saying fun dice.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm good.
Have I talked to you before, brother?
What?
Have I talked to you before?
Stopped
Why'd you say
illegal.
19? You lied.
18.
Okay. For some debates, I just said this. You know, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18. There it is. I mean, come on.
What? Didn't you say 19?
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
It said 18.
Bro, I just heard 19 there. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Maybe I pronounced it weird, but I'm telling you, I'm
Yeah,
18.
sure. Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, okay. So I like that he was able to stop virtually all illegal border crossings in comparison to, without changing any actual policy in comparison to, what's it called? In comparison to what the previous administration did.
Okay. So, so you think that, reducing the amount of immigration is good?
Not specifically. I think reducing illegal crossings would be a good thing. Yes. Do you disagree?
Okay. So how do you know it was related to them if they didn't change the policy?
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure they reinforced the border. I don't have the specific policies like in my head, but I do know that when Trump got into office, he followed through with his promises about stopping the illegal border crossings. And when he did take office, we did see that result. So I think it would be reasonable to attribute that to him, unless you disagree again.
Okay. So then you say we're attributing it to him. Sure, let's do that. Let's assume that to be true, even though it doesn't seem like you've provided an argument for that. But let's assume that to be true.
I think it is very reasonable. Like I laid out the reasoning as to why it is a reasonable assumption to make. Do you disagree with that?
What reasoning did you provide? Because I didn't hear any reasoning that I thought would be justified.
Yeah, okay. So the reasoning was basically that he did make the promises before while he was campaigning that he was going to do that. And we did see that that effect did take place. So we can see where his intention was, we can see what his goals were. So it'd be reasonable to assume that when that goal did happen, when he
just him
took
having
office,
that
that it was a
intention
result of
doesn't
him
mean
taking
that-
office. Please don't interrupt me. I was saying
Oh,
he had that intention.
I will interrupt
and
you as
then
much
he-
as I
did
want.
he hear
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No, I don't like that. I don't like how you said that. But yeah, in terms of this, I don't give a fuck. That was not you just assumed without reason because he had the intention. That's not good reason at all to believe that Donald Trump did this. You should point to particular policies, things they did to cause that to happen. You shouldn't just point to they had this intention.
Parker, you could interrupt me. Obviously, it is your live. I'm just trying. Like I said, I'm just trying to have a productive dialogue. I understand. I've been on your live before. I know how this. I've seen you do this plenty of times.
You've been on my live before? Thank you for telling me.
No.
I don't want to talk to that guy anyway. I'm going to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Alrighty, let's go on to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm sorry.
You're good. Don't worry. Appreciate you. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Please, everybody. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Nigger, 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 nigger.
You disgusting fuck. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 23.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I'd say I would.
Why so?
Because I think that overall he will handle the country better than Kamala Harris would.
What's your birth year?
2002.
And you said you're how old again? 23? Okay, so what month?
23. May.
Okay, so why do you support Donald Trump? You said?
Because I think that he is going to handle the country better than Kamala Harris would.
Handle country better. How so?
Well, I think in terms of border policy, I think he has a much better idea of how it should be regulated, and also I think Kamala Harris's abortion policy is terrible. I think your view on abortion is also.
Okay, so what's his better view on how immigration should be run?
Well, I think that even through all the legislation that the Democrats passed in the late areas of.
Oh, guest access restricted. Look at that, chat. I don't know what it was for. I'll try to get it back right now. Amber, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Pam, I appreciate the $5 for being the CIA plant. Thank you. Thank you. Gina, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Pam, thank you for the $5. Sarah, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's try to get this account back. Chat, that's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. All right, we're gonna try. Give it 1 second. Let me go look at my notifications and try and get this shit back. There we go. I sent the appeal. Give it a second, Evan, for the 5,700 people who are here on YouTube or TikTok. I'd really recommend to go over to the YouTube. We got like 2,200 people over on YouTube, so I'd recommend going over there. Restart your stream? No, I already got the ban, so there's no point to restart. No, I did not wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I wake up on the same side of the bed every single day. Odaris Prime. Cry about it. Mic is too low on YouTube. Wait, I might. Let me see if I have. Oh my gosh, chat. I didn't even realize this the whole time. I had it on the rear panel. Jeez, chat. That's brutal. The whole time I had it on the rear panel. And I didn't even realize. I didn't even have it on my normal microphone. I'm so sorry, chat. Was your issue an internet issue yesterday? Yeah, so like it just randomly cut out the internet. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. But for everyone on TikTok, make sure to go over to the YouTube. I would appreciate it. Russell, thank you for the £5. Thank you. Can you talk to someone with some intelligence that can debate? I don't know if I'll be able to find someone that meets that set of criteria. Did it give a reason for the restriction? I think it just said harassment and bullying. I think it just said harassment and bullying. I don't think it said anything different than that. Let me check. No, it said hate speech, hateful behaviors, gas violation. Sorry. Kylie, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Thank you for how are you doing today? I'm doing good. Doing good. Doy, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Was it you or the guest? It says guest. It says guest violation. We'll see what we can do here, everyone. I don't know what we'll be able to do because we'll see if it gives me my account back in the meantime. We'll probably get some people up for some debates here soon. Soon. Do give it a bit. Olivia, thank you so much for the memberships or for the subscription here on TikTok. Thank you. Tim, thank you so much for the $2. Crazy. Oh, Darius, I'm sorry. Like, I'm confused. What made you so mad? Najia, thank you so much for the $2. Can you go on Marges? I can, I think. I think I can. Ava, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you so much on PayPal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let me check. I don't think my girlfriend's account got banned, so I think I can use it. If anything, I can go to that here in a minute. So I would really recommend to go to my YouTube, so if any bans happen, that you don't have to deal with it. I would really recommend that. Alrighty. I don't see any response back on the what's it called yet. Mr. Lamb, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for Thanks Parker for taking your energy to help us better our daily lives with these conversations. You've helped me in hard convos on TikTok. Get over here to YouTube. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. Lamb. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I know. TikTok is just going crazy. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't have a response yet, so I might just go to my third account or my girlfriend's account. Should I just do that real quick, everyone? Go to my girlfriend's account because it just says appeal submitted. So yeah. What's her account? Her account's Parker got a GF. Parker got a GF. I have no response to my appeal quite yet. And yeah, I don't know. One thing I could try is I could just try to get debates here on YouTube, but I mean, I'm not on StreamYard, so. All right, everyone. Everyone here, TikTok, go over to my YouTube channel real quick. It looks like I'm not going to get my account back right away, so I'd really recommend to go to my YouTube real quick. I'm about to hit a restart and go into my girlfriend's account. You can go to Parker Got a GF if you want to see it there. Otherwise, I will be over on the YouTube, so make sure to go to the YouTube. That would be best. All right, everyone. Will it give me it back? Maybe I should wait a few more minutes. No, we'll just go. Fuck it. All right, I'll see everyone there. Parker got a GF. I love y'all. I'll see y'all there. Alrighty, what's up everyone on YouTube? How's everyone doing? Were my analytics doing good today? Let's see. It looks good. Just didn't have time to fully send it out because I got that fucking ban. Alrighty. Let's go onto my girlfriend's account. Give me 1 second, everyone. Log in. QR code. There we are. Alrighty. Joseph, thank you for the $2. Thank you. That's crazy. That's so fucking insane. He's been going absolutely insane recently. Charlie Kirk, like straight off the deep end. Like he already was, but like even further. It's crazy. Alrighty, Alright, we still have no response to the appeal. That's just so unfortunate, dude. Why does it do this? Alright, what's up everyone on YouTube? Make sure to like the stream. I would really appreciate that. Make sure to like the stream. Like that stream. It helps get it out to more people. I would really appreciate it if you like the stream. I think right now we currently have 714 likes. Let's try to run that shit up to 2,000. But what's up everyone joining in? How's everyone doing? Bethany, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Is there any way to have guest requests go to mods first so they can check it before passing the call off to you? No. Also, like I just like that's I don't know if that would be a reliable process either, because people can just lie to the mods, you know. Lawrence, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Pam, thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you. But yeah, we'll start. Glad I joined the last live. I wouldn't have ever known. Yep, make sure to come here. Parker, go get a job. You? Okay. By the way, everyone. No, that's not me. Is there this person, Parker? Go get. I'm gonna look them up right now. This is getting ridiculous. I've actually seen so many people message about this. Go get a job. Who is that? It doesn't come up, chat. Users. I don't see a Parker go get a job actually. Maybe they blocked me, chat. Yeah, cuz I don't see it. They probably blocked me. I can go to a different account and check. All right, let me go. You're definitely blocked? Yeah, let me look. Parker, go get a job. Oh, here we are. They definitely blocked me. Yep, they did block me. That's 15K? Totally report that shit. What the fuck? So ridiculous. So ridiculous. Make sure not to follow that. They blocked me, by the way. That's why I didn't see it. They blocked me. Crazy. Alrighty, let's go to the next person. Look at reposts. I'll have to check. Give me 1 sec. We'll try to get a debate up here real quick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
22.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, sir. But I had a question. So, how can you criticize Trump
hold
for
up.
raping?
Can I? You said you're a Trump supporter, correct?
Yes,
What's your birth year?
2003.
And how old are you?
22.
Okay, what month?
March.
Okay, go ahead.
How can you criticize Donald Trump for raping E. Jean Carroll while Biden was raping Ashley Biden, his daughter?
Can you give me a source for that?
Her book. She wrote a book about it.
Okay. The book. You're referencing the diary that got stolen by Project Veritas. That's a right-wing think tank. Are you referencing that? Because one, the contents haven't been verified. Two, even if the contents were verified, it does not say grape at all. She actually came out and said
Um,
about specifically people like you that come out and say this, that you are actually harming her, because it is the case that she has had to deal with people lying and making up false accusations about people she cares about because of this. So don't perpetuate the same lies that she said was harmful to her.
well, she said that he was molesting her
That's not what
in the
she
shower.
said. You just lied. You just totally lied. You want to bet? How much do
Pages,
you want to bet?
pages 67 and 68.
Wait, so specifically, by the way, it doesn't say molesting. Where does it say that in the diary?
My father molested me many times in the shower.
Really?
That
Provide
was the diary.
Oh,
That was
oh,
the diary
that's
left
oh,
for her
put
mental
money on it right
facility.
now. Put money on that. I put money on it right now. Do it. How much? I
Well,
promise
how
you
would
that's
you
not
know?
in the book. I promise you that's not in the diary. You fucking made that up. You total liar. You're totally fucking lying. You just
She
totally
said,
made that
I'm
up.
so afraid of him coming into the shower with me that I waited until late at night to take a shower. Pages 67 and 68.
Wait. So then it doesn't say molest.
Those are
Does it say
both the
molest?
things
Does
they
it
were
say?
both said.
Does it say?
My father molested me.
Oh, okay. Then do you want to bet? Put money on that right now. I'm serious. I know you're fucking lying. I know you're fucking lying. She literally came out and said this was a fucking lie herself. So respond to that point.
When did she say that that was a lie?
It was an address to Congress. I don't remember the year.
What's the source?
It was the address to look up Ashley Biden addresses Congress. Says that there were false accusations made about people that she cares about relating to diary, and you'll see it.
Okay, I'm gonna go search that up.
Okay. But secondly, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Given that Kamala Harris hasn't done this, and that Donald Trump has, why do you support Donald Trump? Oh, she got removed for community guidelines. Yeah, she was totally lying, by the way. I just totally made that up. That's actually disgusting to make shit up like that in order to support Donald Trump. That's fucking crazy.
I'm 18, born 2007.
Okay. Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, but I'm a little bit more towards the middle. So whenever you talk about illegals having a lower crime rate than U.S. citizens, is it the same type of crimes? Because it's like, yeah, there could be a lower amount of crimes, but the crimes of the illegals, like, so my mom, yeah, my mom, she works at the county jail, and there's illegals like raping like 12-year-olds, and there's one that like actually raped a 9-month-old.
Yeah. So there are U.S. citizens that do that at significantly higher rates. If we look at violent crime, drug crime, and property crime, all lower per capita for undocumented immigrants comparative to natural-born U.S. citizens. Like you can go to a prison and you can see U.S. citizens that meet that same set of criteria to a significantly greater extent.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering about that. And then also, so back to like the Catholic thing, whenever it comes to the body and blood of Christ, it's pretty much the same thing as like water being holy water. So like, yes, it's flesh, but it's Jesus. So he's just not like an ordinary human being. You know, that's also God.
Said not like wait, can you repeat that? I'm so confused what your point is.
So back to like whenever you're arguing with the one guy about the body and blood of Christ and trying to accuse him of being a cannibal based on like him refusing to call it
Do you believe it's
symbolism.
symbolic?
It's not symbolic, but it's not exactly.
Wait, do you think it's literal?
But literal, it's not literal in the sense that like.
Okay, it's not literal then. If you don't think it's literal, that position's not applicable to you.
Yeah. Well, it's not like completely symbolic either. Like that is the body and blood of Christ, but it's not. Jesus isn't like an ordinary being though. So it's different.
Yeah, but like he is human still. He still has human flesh and human blood, right? That they're referencing. So if they are eating that human flesh or human blood, they are a cannibal. Like that's under their own definition. Now, I don't consider them a cannibal because I think it's ridiculous to say that that's flesh and blood. I think it's obviously still wine and bread. You know what I mean? Like that would be ridiculous to say otherwise. but from their
Yeah,
own
it-
perspective, that's what they consider. And I just think that that's a ridiculous perspective. And I told him, you don't have to hold this perspective. Just say it's symbolic. That's all you have to say. Like, it's not complicated to get around, you know?
It's also just an interesting thing because, like, yeah, it's kind of symbolic, but at the same time, there are like miracles, is what the faith refers to them as. Where like the
miracle of cannibalism. Is that what you're saying, dude? No, come
no,
on.
the
No.
bread had like literally transformed into actual flesh.
Oh my God. Which
But-
makes you a cannibal then.
No, I'm not saying that people ate it when it did that. I'm just saying that that has happened, where it turned from something symbolic to like the bread actually turning into genuine flesh.
Okay. All right. Well, is there any
Alright.
any reason why you support Donald Trump? Actually,
Nah,
let me
but-
no. Okay.
I just want to make that point.
Okay. By the way, everyone, please do not come up on my live and do that. I'm just looking for Trump supporters. This live is not for people just to come up to and talk to me about whatever they feel like. This is a debate, everyone. We're just looking for some debates. I'm gonna say thank you to some people real quick. Mariah, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's crazy. Thank you for saying. And then Riley and Rylan, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for them in the comment section. For Riley and Rylan, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. They said, we watch your stream every day and just want to thank you for your hard work as Democrats who work for a conservative church. You've given us some great arguments to use when discussing our positions on topics such as abortion, the LGBTQ community, and immigration. Much love. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's a fucking W right there. That's literally why we do what we do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Bria, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that definitely. I totally get you there. I totally get you there. I'm glad that we can provide some solace. I really appreciate you. Let's go on to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Hey, I came here because I couldn't find the live on TikTok. Yes, always come to my YouTube if you can't find the live on TikTok. That is the place to go. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh my gosh, that person is always in the live. Let's go. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you?
Oh shit, Parker, I did it again. I'm tapping.
You're good. Don't worry. You're good. Appreciate you so much. Don't worry. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Kind of, but kind of not.
If you could go back in time and either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
Actually, here's a weird take. I would vote for neither.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Nigger.
Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We were just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 17. I don't support Trump though.
You got to be 18 plus to join the live, everyone. TikTok
but fuck.
rules. TikTok rules, everyone. 18 plus. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Chat, we still have no update on the appeal. I'm actually kind of scared. Let's get this next person up here. All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Hello? 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 Okay. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Niggers, fuck niggers, fuck.
So disgusting. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
24.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, why so?
He's for America.
How so?
In all his actions, he does. It's pro-America. How not?
How is he pro-America?
The way he stands for our country, no matter what. The way he's America. America's.
You trolling?
Yeah, I'm trolling. No fuck.
Appreciate you coming up. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 45.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I voted for him.
Do you support him?
No.
Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? You have multiple accounts to join the live. It's crazy. I got a guest violation for hate speech, hateful behaviors, by the way. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
28.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
Why so?
Because he is for America. Like the last guy said who was actually trolling.
Okay. What makes you think that he's actually for America?
Well, he took out the nuclear facilities in Iran that could have fucking bombed us, idiot.
Dude, why are you so mad, bro?
Because I fucking hate you, Parker.
Why?
You're a little bitch and you've never been in a fist fight in your entire life. Everybody can fucking tell that.
Okay. And why is that an issue?
Because Charlie Kirk owned you, by the way.
Okay, you just got a million things you can't justify one point?
He owns you, brother.
On what point?
Literally every fucking debate you guys did.
Can you name one?
Every subject.
Name one specific point.
Niggers.
Disgusting, dude. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, literally, like, they're not even serious people. Like, they're so ridiculous. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I like niggers.
Dude, what is going on right now? What is going on right now? Mods, make sure any single one of them gets banned, please. Please block them. Because I have to kick them right away. I don't get time to block them, so just make sure that they're blocked if you can. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Do you support Donald Trump?
No, I don't.
Nice. Nice. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Hey, everyone, I'm going to hit a quick restart on this live because I want to get banned on this account. So I'll be right back. Give me a second, everyone. I'm going to hit a quick restart on TikTok. If you don't want to deal with these, restarts and all the issues we have to deal with, I'd recommend to go over to the YouTube channel. Everyone. See you in a second. Alrighty. YouTube is where it's at. I know, right? Like, the issues on TikTok are like, they're so horrible. I wish my main account would just work, bro. Alrighty. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. What's up, everyone joining in? How's everybody doing? What's up, everyone? Parker, go to therapy today? I probably will. It's here at 1 o'clock. That means I have to leave here in like 2 hours, chat. I'll have to leave in like 2 hours. Which means I will come back later in the day, but yeah, I don't have to leave, you know? If you want to support me, as always, everyone, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the bio, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, everybody. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Please, everyone, only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Parker, can you bring Marge up? We miss her.
if she wants to, of course. Let's get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Well, the thing is, I am on her account right now, so what's up? How old are you?
20.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yep.
What's your birth year?
2004.
What month?
January.
Wouldn't you be 21? Chico Parker helps keep one balance. Absolutely, I get you. I get you. It takes so long to build up the algorithm. I know people are like, they think that's like something ridiculous to do this over, but yeah. I'm always like that with the algorithm. Like, I don't want the algorithm to get cooked, because that's like why it affects me. Like, whenever the lives randomly get taken down on YouTube, like and the internet cuts out, it's so annoying. How old are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
How old are you?
25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
What's your birth year?
2000.
Okay. So why do you support Donald Trump? Reborn, think of the $20. No, yesterday's guest did not pay me. You're saying?
Because he's a cool guy.
Okay. How so?
No. I was told to vote for him, so I'll vote.
Why though?
Because I wanted to.
But why?
Because I don't like Kamala.
Kamala, why so?
I don't know. She just wasn't as cool.
You got nothing? Can you name a policy of Trump's you like?
I don't know. He's cool. Kamala's uncool.
Kamala. What makes you think Kamala Harris is not cool and Donald Trump is cool?
Trump's a gangster. Kamala is not a gangster.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump.
Yes, I do.
That's a fetus. Can spot a fetus from a mile away. That last person, there's no way they weren't a troll, chat. No way. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you?
Oh, Parker!
Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Reborn, thank you again for the $20. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, what just happened? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh my god, not me.
Okay. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. How old are you?
I'm old enough, you dumb bitch.
What state do you live in?
Alaska.
Alaska? What time is it?
7:10.
What? In the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Really? It's 7:10 right
Mhm.
now? Name
Mhm.
3 cities in Alaska.
I don't live in a city. I live in an island.
I just want to let you know, though there are islands, there are cities on islands. You know what's about you? What's going on right now, chat? Morgan, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know. Thank you so much, Morgan. I really appreciate it. It is really ridiculous. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
21.
What's your birth year?
2004.
Okay. Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, bro, of course.
Why so?
Because the prison he built with the alligator and shit, the crocodiles.
What
That's
state
funny,
do you
bro.
live in?
Oregon.
What time is it?
11:10.
Okay. Name 3 cities in Oregon.
Nigger.
What is wrong with every guest I have today? Like, seriously, it's every guest. What is going on today? It's literally every person. Like, every single person, dude. I can't even get a debate. Welcome back.
Yeah. I said earlier that I was on, but that didn't mean I was up. That just meant that I watched your debates, not that I actually debated.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, so we were talking about how Trump was able to get the border crossings to be heavily, heavily reduced, the legal border crossings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was arguing that that was a good thing.
Okay, and why?
Yeah, so it's a good thing to stop illegal border crossings for a few reasons. One of them, it's easy for them to be taken advantage of once they're inside the borders. That would be one. Another would be it's unregulated. It's not good for the sovereignty of the country when they have their borders violated.
If you give a pathway to citizenship to undocumented immigrants that have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, wouldn't that reduce the likelihood that they're exploited?
That would reduce the likelihood that they're exploited, but I think we should screen for more than just crime. What about you?
What would you like to?
So, I think it would be good, for example, if we didn't allow them to get to welfare immediately upon entering the border.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, I think it's
Like
because
once they get legal status.
Great. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue that. So even if they were legal, right? If we just took in every immigrant, um, if we just took in every immigrant, we know that there are millions that do wanna enter the country. We understand that what's it called? We understand that we can't take everyone. So therefore, if we're gonna be choosing from the selection we have as a country, I think it would be beneficial if we take the best that we can, the ones that will benefit the country the best.
Which is anyone who hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime. Give me a reason why we should deport people who haven't committed violent crimes or bad crimes. You said maybe there's too many people. Are you okay with
No, I
Are you
never.
okay with 1 to 3% population growth per year?
I don't have a like. I don't know about how like the statistics would work for population, so I don't have a claim on what I think would be a good population growth.
But you would be okay with it?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not educated on
Original
what good
intuition. Would
population
you be
growth.
okay with 1 to 3% population growth per year?
Yeah, original. That sounds fine, like in my
Okay.
head, but I don't know what it
You know,
takes.
that would be around 3 to 10 million people.
3 to 10 million what?
People.
3 to 10 million people per year? What are you
Yeah,
saying?
per year.
Got it. Okay, so 3 to 10 million per year entering the States. Yeah. So how many are you aware of the numbers for how many people do want to get to the United States legally?
So I think it would depend because I don't think that just because someone claims, right, or they're even estimating something that necessarily would necessitate that would be the accurate determination, as we have the plenty of different variables that we haven't been able to take into account, specifically for places around the world that we wouldn't be able to take into account just by generating this. But even if we do accept it, like yes, there is a point where like if there was like a billion people that wanted to come to the country, that we wouldn't be able to take a billion people, of course. But
No,
it's
that's not what I'm
significantly
saying.
higher levels of immigration than we currently have right now.
No, what I'm saying is that there's more than 3 million people wanting to enter the country every year.
I don't think we would have, if we had my laws, that we would have more than 3 million people coming here. Even then. Maybe that
If
would
we were
be
if
a
we were to
normal amount.
accept, wait, I'm confused. If there are more than 3 million people who want to enter the country every year, and if they haven't committed violent crimes, then it is the case that if we just let them in just based off the fact that they didn't commit violent crimes, that we would be letting in more than 3 million people per year. No?
Which I would be okay with.
Got it. So what is your cap on what you would say for how many people per
It
year?
would depend on how it would negatively affect us economically speaking, as a society, you know, different things like that, right? At a certain point, if there was like, say, a billion people that came into the country in 1 month, obviously our system would not be able to sustain that. But like again, larger scales of immigration than we currently have right now, right, are absolutely compatible with our economy.
Got it. Okay.
and actually benefit
Um,
our economy.
yeah. So I think there's also like we can also put even more to the screening apart from just let's say welfare. We can also put a screening such as cultural assimilation, things like making sure they speak English,
Oh no,
things like
no, not at all. Heavily disagree with that standard. Why do you
yeah.
agree with
So
that standard?
I just think that in order to have a nation, there needs to be a certain amount of unity and agreed upon norms, and therefore, if we have very
Do we have an official
varying,
language?
I'm not saying we have an official language. I'm just saying that for the immigration process, it would be good for, let's say, a nation's unity to have
Nope.
certain norms and
No.
certain very vague. I'm not even asking for anything crazy. I'm just
English?
saying, for example,
You are, because there's no official language of the United States of America. There
I'll
are
give an
plenty of
example.
people that live in this country that don't speak English and are completely fine.
Yes, no, no, no. I'm not saying that they can't speak other languages. I'm just saying that it would be good to see some assimilation effort.
I don't think that they need to assimilate by
I'm not asking.
specifically like needing to speak English. I think that's ridiculous. Why not
Yeah,
Spanish?
yeah, okay. So I just think that a country, let's say, for example, if we just had an overwhelming population of varying languages, then we wouldn't be able to communicate properly. It would just be a very divided nation.
I'm confused. I'm confused. Like that's totally fine. If people want to speak different languages in their country in different areas, that's completely fine. If
I
people
agree
can't
with that.
communicate through language, that's completely fine. What's the relevance?
That's true. I'm not saying that they can't speak other languages. I'm not trying to enforce any singular language. I'm just trying to encourage a unified language.
I don't think that it should have to be like one specific language. If someone doesn't have the ability to
I
speak
never
English,
said it has
I
to be
don't think
one
they should
specific
have to.
language. What are you saying?
You did say it has to be one specific language. You said English, dude.
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm saying they don't, when they're in the country, it's not that they must speak a single language within the country for them to be inside of the country. I'm not asking for them to throw away their original languages and just not use them. What I'm asking is that if they do enter the country, they should make an effort to learn the country's not official language, but native language.
What do you mean native language?
I mean the language that is, how do I say, I guess traditionally used in the country.
So so by the way, I just want to clarify, like I don't think you should use that terminology when we're quite literally not native to this land.
Okay, fine. I mean, whatever terminology you want me to use, I'm just trying to make the point. But even language isn't the most important thing, really. I would also think like all sorts of even very vague cultural uh, and civic values, such as, for example, we wouldn't want a country that would we wouldn't want to endorse people that like display any amount of like terroristic ideology, for example. So if we can like somehow screen that, I think that would be good.
And what would you consider terroristic ideology?
Oh, okay, so if you support any terrorist groups, that would be a simple way to see if people support terroristic ideology. If they support groups that are terrorist groups as deemed by the US, then that would be uh, an example of somebody supporting terrorism.
Okay. So no other context to that, correct? Like, so
What do you mean?
if there's a group that's not designated as a terroristic group but operates as a terroristic group, should you treat the same sort of standards to
So
them?
you're asking me two things. If you ask me personally, yes, if they are doing terroristic things
Okay.
and they are supporting that, then yes, obviously it is the case that
So then
we
like
should
a
not
bunch
support
of
them
Trump
entering the
supporters that
country.
are in support of the state of Israel.
We're talking currently about what's it called? Immigration, not legal citizens. I would
Okay.
say that's a pivot.
Okay, or you could reference anyone who supports the state of Israel. Is that what you're saying?
If Israel were to be, and I disagree, but if Israel were to have done terroristic actions and they were doing the same things terrorist groups
Like
would be
for
doing,
example, funded terrorist
we can get
groups.
to that in 1 second.
Like funded terrorist groups.
What do you mean by this distinction of funded?
Like do you think that if they funded terrorist groups that they should be considered to have supported it like terroristic
So if you
actions?
support a country that funds terrorist groups, it becomes a little more gray for me, simply because what's it called? That might not be the entirety of the country's mission, but generally if you do fund terrorism, you are bad. Like your country probably does also have terroristic ideology. So I would say like probably it would be bad to
Yeah.
allow
So,
people who support countries that fund terrorism.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
Israel, who funded Hamas.
Israel funds Hamas. How so?
Israel did fund Hamas, yes. To respond to the PLO.
I'm gonna need a little more like education on this.
I would recommend you to look it up, right? Because that would be the broader information. All that's relevant to the conversation in terms of what I'm bringing up is simply that they have done that.
Okay, fine. Even if I were to grant that, I would definitely look into it. Thank you for bringing it up. But regardless, I'm curious if you agree with me that these sorts of additional criteria for the screening would be good for the country's immigration policy. Because I heard you would give mass amnesty, not just to like you give it to everyone as long as they don't have a criminal background. That was the only screening
Oh,
that you would apply.
okay. Well, sure. Like, obviously, other things you could apply. I'm not disputing that, but like, you would agree that, like, in this context, that would be reasoning that would then justify banning people who
What do you
support
mean
the state
banning?
of Israel. But that's just one thing.
We're talking about immigration.
Secondly, is there any other standards you'd like to place upon immigration, like other than that?
Sure. I would also just want a merit-based one, basically, which takes in skilled workers, not just allow to happen illegally, which we saw with the previous administration, which led to
What do you
all
mean
sorts
by
of ethical
skilled
concerns.
workers? Like, what do you mean?
Oh, basically, like we'd want doctors, we'd want uh, good teachers, or not even that. We'd want it to just be what America is needing most, basically.
Everything. So,
What do you mean everything?
yeah,
I'm saying, let's say we need more doctors or
everyone
more
has a
lawyers.
different skill, right? So they'll provide their
Correct.
skills. So I'm confused. What you mean?
Yes. No, I'm saying is that once again, we have a lot of immigrants that want to, a lot of prospects that want to immigrate into our country. A lot more than we should probably take. So the question is from that group, who do we take? And I'm saying that we should apply more screening than just anyone without a criminal background. And I think that's reasonable. Tell me if you disagree.
I do think that's unreasonable.
So you don't think it's reasonable to screen from the millions of people who want to immigrate into the tens of millions that want to immigrate into the US? Because obviously we're not taking all of the tens of millions every single year.
That was
The
a straw
question
man
is,
because I did provide screening things, right? It just is the case that I said that like this types of standards that you're applying on it are not relevant at all. We don't need quote unquote just certain skills, right? We need people coming to the economy across the board, right? Now, I don't have an issue with that. For some reason, you do have an issue with that. So please provide me the issue, right? What's the reason why you want to deport people who are in the country who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime?
so I'm not even on the deporting the people yet. I'm just saying that it was a good thing that Trump stopped illegal immigration. We can get to that in a bit. But I also have a question to ask before that because you brought up mass amnesty. So my question
So
for
he's
that
not
would
going to
be,
answer my question, essentially?
what's the question you're asking?
Yeah. So what is the reason to deport them?
I never made the claim that I want to deport them.
Do you agree with deportation?
I agree with deportation
So then
that
fucking
is done
answer the
ethically.
question. Jesus Christ. You have to be so insufferable. You have to take so much time just to answer questions that you know you should be answering.
I would answer it, but I feel as if it's a pivot.
I don't give a fuck. What else were we talking about?
We were talking about immigration and entry and the
That's
screening,
yeah, deportation is
not
relevant for
deportation.
that.
It's parallel, I guess. Okay, so the question is, do I support deportation? Yes, I think you should start with the criminals.
Sorry. Yeah, so can you tell me why you should deport someone who hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime?
Great. So I think the reasoning behind deporting someone with who hasn't done any crime is simply because if they are illegal and if we haven't screened them, then chances are they might not fit the criteria, which I think would be good. For example, not being on welfare. I don't think it benefits the country to have people who come in who are on welfare
How much more time
immediately.
should they get before they can get on it?
That's what I was saying before. I think if you get into the program, you should have, let's say, at least like a 2-year gap of not being on welfare or something like that.
I disagree with that, but I'm confused. How is that relevant to deporting people who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime?
Because all the people who have come into the country legally previous haven't gone through the screening, which I think would be good for the country to go through.
If you give them a pathway to citizenship, there is screening. They don't have to. They don't have to
Great.
leave
So
the
if they go
country.
through the screening that I'm talking about, then it would turn out that a large amount of the immigrants wouldn't pass the screening simply because they're on welfare programs. And if they're on welfare programs,
Undocumented immigrants are
from
not on welfare programs. What programs are they on?
so I'm pretty sure studies show from I think it's the Congress Research Center or the CIS, I forgot what that stands for. I'm pretty sure that they say that around 50 or 60% of undocumented immigrants are on some sort of welfare program, either that's SNAP or Medicare
Nope.
or
No source indicates that. That's made up. Even
let
I don't
me
even think the
I can look it up
CIS,
for a
which is a
second.
right wing think tank, would say that.
I have to look into that, I guess. Well, I heard that. So you're saying that no, you're saying that no, what's it called, undocumented or just illegal immigrants are on welfare programs?
I'm saying that they don't qualify for welfare.
Yeah, I think the question though is whether or not they end up taking advantage of them.
Could there be an undocumented immigrant that is engaging in identity theft that is on one of these programs? Sure, but that's illegal anyway.
The question is to what
I'm
degree,
confused what your
right?
point is.
The question is to what degree?
No, the question is whether or not they qualify.
Yeah, maybe they don't qualify, but if the system isn't good and they're able to use it, then it's a perverse incentive structure. And what would
Wait,
happen
but like
is,
they can violate it in the same way. If identity theft would be illegal for a U.S. citizen as well. So like again, in
yeah,
that
but
context,
the U.S. citizen has no incentive to
yeah, but that's
go on
not
welfare programs he's
applicable in
already
most
entitled to.
circumstances. And also, again, why is welfare such a big thing for you?
No, I just think it's a
You act
great
like people don't
indicator.
provide more into the system than they would take from it.
Yeah, I just think it's a great indicator that if you're on welfare, you're probably not currently providing more to the system. So
Wrong.
therefore, why is that wrong?
Wrong, because it is the case that you could say, wait, even if you want to say currently, that doesn't mean in the long term they wouldn't.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
at
just
least
saying
agree with that?
in terms of
So
possibly,
Medicaid,
but in
them
terms
getting
of
Medicaid,
immigration,
them getting welfare programs are very important towards them being able to build themselves up, correct?
only if it's not being used as a perverse incentive structure. Like I was saying before, if I can just not have a criminal record and immediately have access to America's welfare program from anywhere, then the incentive would be that I can go there and take advantage of the welfare immediately.
Yeah, but then you would also have to provide to the economy in other sorts of ways, given that you live here now.
What's your point?
Then you also provide to the economy in other sorts of ways, given that you live here now.
It's true, you definitely are, but I don't think that if you're on welfare program, you're contributing more to the system currently than you're taking from
Why
it.
is it only about the currently and not about what it is going to be in the long run?
Because when it comes to immigration, I think we should take the best from the group, which is what I was saying before, based off of what would be best for the United States.
Again, when you just say quote unquote best for the group, what you're essentially trying to do is actually how many people should come into the country per year? How much are you okay with?
I don't have a specific number.
So then how do you know that the number would be too much?
I just understand that we can't take in every person that wants to immigrate into the country.
I understand that. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, but that's all that it would take in order for me to say that we can then exclude certain people from who comes in.
Yeah, and I'm okay with excluding
And providing
people.
a basis for it.
I'm okay with excluding people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that we should screen for more since we have the ability to. It would be good for the United States.
Give me like a reason. Like, because the
A
reason you
reason?
just
It would
provided
be
in
good for
terms
the
of
United
this,
States.
in terms of the skills is irrelevant. It would be good for the United States even if someone came and didn't have the set of skill sets that you're referencing. It would be beneficial to our economy.
Perhaps, but it wouldn't be as beneficial. But also,
Why
I don't
not?
even know if it would, because especially
Why,
if we're going to
what do you
take
mean
in,
it won't be as
I'll
beneficial?
explain. So especially if we take in a bunch of immigration, let's say, that they came in because of the fact that they would be able to get on welfare immediately, right? And they come in, and that's what happens most of the time is
This
that they come
guy's,
in for
dude,
economic
I'm sorry. You're
opportunities.
so hyper fixated on everyone's just coming to this country for welfare. That's it. That's all
I can
you
move
think.
off from welfare.
No, do you think that every person is just coming to the country for welfare?
No, I think they come in for economic opportunity.
Okay, then stop branding it as that. I think it's disingenuous.
Okay, I don't have to, but I do think, I mean, we have to look into the, what's it called, the statistics, like you said, but I do believe that they use welfare. But okay, fine. We can move on from welfare if that's what you'd rather.
Most people are not, but go for it.
Great. So you can understand, at least I think you can, that if you have an incentive structure, forget about welfare. If you have an incentive structure where you can come into the US as long as you're not a criminal, and you can take advantage of certain things in the US.
So could any other U.S. citizen. I'm confused.
I'm trying to say it wouldn't benefit the US to have those types of immigrants come
In
in.
what way? Like, do we lose GDP? Do we lose wages? What do we lose? Tell us something that we lose.
So I'll explain. For example, let's say jobs. We have plenty of jobs that the illegal immigrants are willing to take for wages that are much more reduced from let's say minimum wage, and they take
So do you think
job
do you
opportunity
think
from
legal
Americans.
immigration lowers wages?
No, if it was legal, then
Okay, so
they
to
would have
clarify,
to be at
if you
least
give
minimum
if you
wage.
give them a pathway to citizenship, they would then be legal, and then they wouldn't have that effect. So then why don't you specifically advocate for them to have legal pathway to citizenship?
It's also because not just the wages. The other thing I guess would be is just once again it didn't go through the same screening. I gave more things than just what's it called, welfare systems. I also spoke about the civic values and assimilation. So I think that if they would come in, they would be
Do you think
detrimental
they should have to take a civics test?
to the unity of the nation. Yeah, basically, I think they should take a civics test.
Okay, so let's have you take that test right now. Are you okay with that?
No, thank you.
Why not?
I just don't think it is necessary for this conversation.
Why not?
I find it what's the word?
I think it is. I think it is. What
Belittling.
is what is the highest court in the United States?
The Supreme Court.
Okay. When must all men
Before you even ask the
register for
next
the selective
question,
service?
I do not want to engage in this.
Okay, cool. Then leave the live. Why must all men register for the selective service? When?
Why?
When?
18.
What are the two rights in the Declaration of Independence?
The two rights in the Declaration of Independence. Was it Thomas Jefferson's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
Life and liberty. That's two. You gave three. Who's the Chief Justice?
The Chief Justice currently?
Yeah,
I'm forgetting his name, but I swear I know.
it's John Roberts. Who's the
Okay.
Commander in Chief of the military?
Commander in Chief, Donald Trump. No, that's Commander in Chief.
You'd say the President.
The
Who
president, yeah.
wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Who wrote the Declaration of Thomas Jefferson, we just said.
Okay. In what month do we vote for president?
November.
Okay. What is one responsibility that is only for U.S. citizens?
One responsibility that is taxes?
No.
I don't know what you mean.
Vote in a federal election.
Oh, I got it,
Why
okay.
does the flag have 50 stars?
50 states.
Okay.
I don't know when this will
And
be
then
over.
name
because
one right
I
only.
think you've already
Name one
I
right.
think you've already succeeded at trying to see if you can make a fool out of me or not.
Name one right only for U.S. citizens.
One right only for US citizens?
Mhm.
Let me think for a second. Right to vote. We just
Run for
That's a
federal
US citi-
office.
Okay, fine. That's
next
not a wrong
question. How many
answer.
branches of government are there?
3.
3. What are they?
Legislative, judicial, and executive.
Okay. What are the first 3 words to the Declaration of Independence?
Oh no, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember these types of stuff. That doesn't mean I'm lacking the civic understanding that would be required. I don't know what your point with this is. You're still trying to make a fool out of me.
So again, these are questions I learned in 5th grade. You got a decent amount of them wrong, man. You would have barely
Okay,
passed.
fine. Okay. Sure.
The idea that you have to know
Would
that
you like to get
information,
back to the conversation?
the idea that you have to know that information in order to be an American is ridiculous.
I think it's kind I think it's kind of ridiculous that to get away from a conversation that was good, we instead have to try to mock me, I guess. I
Well,
don't even think it worked.
well, I just want to clarify. You said that people should have to take the civics test in order to be able to get into the country. But it is the case that we can point to plenty of the civics test questions that you wouldn't have answered correctly. So if you don't know them, why are you
could
saying
list
that
the
other people
questions
should have to know
Could you
them?
list the ones I answered incorrectly?
Yeah, I can go back through them. So hold up. Let me hit start over so I can see them again. Oh wait, there's different questions. You want me to go back and go
No,
through the
it's fine.
audio
No,
and tell you which ones
you
you
don't
got
have to.
wrong?
You don't have to show them to me. You don't have to show them to me. I'll explain what I even meant anyway. So even if, let's say, I didn't know all of them perfectly, it is true that if you are entering the country, that you want to, like I said, I want to see effort of cultural assimilation and civic values. So because of that, even if, let's say, a citizen doesn't have them perfectly, he might just have them already because of his education and the fact that he lives within the culture of the nation. So if you're coming into the country, I want to see some sort of
Okay.
effort towards
Okay.
that, I
Okay.
guess.
Let's go. How many years are U.S. senators elected for?
6. I don't know why you're still pop quizzing me.
What about House of Reps?
2. Do you want me to continue this or should I just leave? Because honestly, I'm not interested in
Honestly,
answering your
leave, because
questions.
I don't like you.
I take this as running because I am.
Wait, you're the one
effectively
who's
arguing.
saying he's gonna leave. You
Yes,
you don't
because
want to
you're
answer my
pop quizzing me
questions.
instead of engaging in the productive conversation we were
I
having.
am. Did you hear the reason why I'm doing this?
Did you hear my response as to why? Did you hear my
I
response
did.
as to
I
why,
did.
even if
I
I
did.
didn't know
Can you
it, it
answer my
wouldn't
question though?
necessarily
Can you
matter?
answer my question? Did you hear the reason why I did this?
Correct, I did.
Repeat it.
The reason why you're doing this is because you said if someone wants to enter the country and I'm expecting them to know these things, that it is expected that I also know these things.
Yeah, if it is the case that you're saying that people, in order to come into the country, specifically should have to know a civics test, well, then you should be able to answer all of these things correctly. Because it is the case that the idea that someone should have to pass a civics test in order to get into the question is a ridiculous thing to ask for someone in the first place. It's not a reason to restrict someone from coming to the country that would actually be meaningful. It's just a manner that you can weed people from coming to the country, weed out people from coming to the country because you have a specific set of people that you don't want from coming to the country that don't assimilate to the country in the way that you want them. And that's not what this country's about. This country isn't about, right, assimilating to every aspect of...
Could I just say something really quick? Because you said a lot. Yeah, so I repeat.
This country isn't about assimilating to every aspect of how this country has been in the past or the norms of this country have existed.
I'm trying to.
It's about freedom. It's about liberty, right? It's about the pursuit of happiness, like you said already, which is independent of just living in accordance with certain types of norms, such as understanding those certain things. Someone could learn those things by living in the country, and that's totally fine, but they should not be obligated to know those things to be in the country.
Okay, so I repeated why you gave me the pop quiz. And then did you hear my response to what you said? Can you repeat that?
Did you hear anything I just said?
I did hear what you just said. I feel like I'm having to backtrack because I responded to certain things that perhaps maybe you muted me for, and maybe I was just speaking.
No, because you were cutting me off, and I was finishing what I was saying, so I muted you.
Okay, I understand. I think there was a misunderstanding or a miscommunication.
So I was referencing. So if you want to have a productive dialogue, I was referencing freedom, right? The fact that this country is based upon freedom, the fact that this country is based on liberty and justice, all right? Not specifically based upon, right, passing a fucking civics test. That's not what this country is based upon. That doesn't make the country safer. It doesn't give us more liberty. It doesn't give us more freedom. It doesn't do anything for us.
Got it. So I feel like we're going to have to backtrack just a little bit. So you gave me those questions about civics because you said that it is, if I expect other people.
Are you going to respond to what I have to say, man?
I will. It's just like I said before, I feel like I first have to make a point that I already made because maybe you're missing it. So, like I was saying, you gave me those questions because you were saying that if I expect other people to know those things, then I should know them myself. And I said that not necessarily because I'm already in the country with the culture and with the civic values.
Why?
So
why don't you have to know that, but they do,
yeah,
given that you're
now
advocating
you're
for
asking.
it?
Great. It's because those questions show that you have an effort towards making that cultural assimilation and understanding those civic values. If you're
Why do you
inside
need
of the
that?
country, okay, that's really the crux of what you're asking now, which was what you just said recently. So to answer that, I think once again, to have a nation that is coherent and to have a nation that is oriented towards what is good, that you should have a coherent, like I said, at least vague understanding of the things we value, such as no terroristic ideology. That was one of the things I said before. Such as, I would even say, for example, incredibly communist ideology wouldn't actually no, I take that one back. You can be a communist and enter the country, that's fine. But I would say no terroristic ideology. I would say norms that are at least like somewhat in line with the traditionally American norms. And I would say that that would all benefit the nation because it would be a coherent nation oriented towards what is good.
Okay. So you said the only way to have a nation that is coherent and that is, targeted towards like the good of the nation is if we have a civics test. That's your argument. That's your justification.
No, not even a civic test.
So,
The civic
then
test just
what
is
the
there.
fuck's the point of the
Yeah.
civic? So how is
Yeah,
having
I
a
gave you the
civics
point of the
test?
civics test.
How is
I
this?
gave you the point.
You didn't. This was the argument you were providing.
It shows an interest in understanding the American culture.
Why do you need that? I asked you that question. You didn't answer.
I explained American culture. What I mean by that are the norms, for example. So when I say coherent norms, I mean show an effort into understanding American culture, which means that if you take a civics test and you do well on
I
it,
keep
you're showing
asking
me
you
that you have an
why
interest
do
in
you
American
why
culture.
do you need that? Why do you need that? I keep asking the same question. You're not answering.
Okay,
Why do you need
asked
that?
me. I did answer. You asked me
Why do you need that?
about for the good of the nation, right?
How is it providing for the good of the nation?
Okay, once again, so the nation has certain norms, correct?
Okay.
Yes. So would you say that it would be bad to have what's it called? Do you think it would be bad for the nation if we have multiple competing norms inside of the nation?
No.
So you don't think multiple competing norms inside of a nation are bad?
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay, fine. Yes. So I disagree with that. That's our fundamental
Oh,
disagreement. I think if
so
we
you
have,
say necessarily if there's a competing norm that's bad.
if we have, like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly the same norms. It just has to be. It can't be a, let's say, inverted understanding of our norms.
What do you
If
mean
we
by
have
that?
that sort of, okay, for example, an easy one that anyone could point to is if murder, for example, were to be taken as okay in, let's say, I don't know, certain circumstances that wouldn't make any sense. Let's say some
That's not what we're saying.
worship or some religious, that would be like, let's say,
Yeah,
a type
religious.
of norm.
Religious. Like I'm an
Yeah, right.
atheist.
So let's say someone had a religious norm that that competed with ours that said murder was okay if the person looked
Wait,
at
no,
you
no, no,
funny.
no, no. We'll just
That
talk
would
about
be a
any.
competing
We'll talk about
norm.
any religious distinction. Let's say someone doesn't uphold the religious norms of our society, and they specifically are Jewish, right? Most people within our society are not Jewish, right? Is there something wrong with that?
No, because the Jewish person's what's it called, the norms are somewhat aligned in some way with
Wait, but
what's
that's
it called,
the
American
norm
norms.
of being Christian, right? Is not the same as being Jewish. Christian and Jewish are
It's
different.
not. It is not the same. It's
Okay,
okay to have
so then
different norms.
So
It is okay
are
to
those
have
norms that are
incredibly
competing?
competing norms.
They are competing.
They are. It's true.
Yeah, and there's also Catholicism and Protestantism. Are they
course.
competing?
Yes, they are competing in a
Yeah, so
sense.
those
I
are
just think a
norms
certain
within
amount
our
of
society that
competition
are
is fine.
competing with each other, and you're totally okay with it.
Yeah, great. I already specified. I think it would have to be competing to a very large degree. That it would.
So then it
cause
would
a
only
nation to
be in
become
certain
incoherent.
circumstances. Okay, so tell me why that's true
Correct.
here when we're referencing the civics test. Please tell me.
Great. So the civics test would just show me that if they have incredibly that's why it's even very vague. Is that, let's say, if they were to have like norms that were entirely just at odds with every single norm of the U.S., then they wouldn't do well on the on the civics test. Or if they were to do well
No,
on the
that has
civics
nothing
test,
to
it
do
would
with
show
that.
that they're coming
You
to
you could
learn.
have completely similar norms to America, but not understand the certain questions on the test. That makes no sense. That does not follow at all.
I guess this is what I mean. When I have a civics test, I see an enthusiasm towards understanding American culture. You're right. They might understand it and do well on the civics test, but
But
have
you don't need that as a U.S.
completely
citizen.
different
So
norms.
if you don't need that as a U.S. citizen in order for the coherence of our society and culture, why do you need that as a fucking immigrant coming to the country? Why there's no reason at all for an immigrant to have to do that.
I'm confused what you didn't like there. I kind of already explained. We're backtracking now on the why the citizens don't have to take the civics test. I feel like I explained it twice.
And I've given a response to it. What was my response?
Your response was just why does having like coherent why does knowing a civics test and the civic values
If a U.S.
of America
citizen
matter?
does,
The
if a
norms
U.S.
of America
citizen,
matter.
if a U.S. citizen doesn't have to know it, why does an immigrant have to?
Because a U.S. citizen probably knows the values of the U.S. and the norms which is kind of what the civics test shows interests
Manny, I appreciate
of
the
the immigrant trying to understand. They probably already understand it intuitively simply by being raised in the country.
Let's say they don't. Should they have to take a test?
What do you mean they don't?
Should they have to take a civics test?
Wait, they don't what?
Should they have to take a civics test to stay a U.S. citizen?
Stay a U.S. citizen if what? You said if they don't. I didn't know if they don't what.
I'm confused what you're confused about. I said, do they have to take a civics test in order to stay a citizen under your view?
In order for who to stay a citizen?
A U.S. citizen.
No, because they were raised in the country.
When I say stay a citizen, doesn't that imply that they were a U.S. citizen?
Maybe. That's not the point. Fine. Even if I made an error there, that's fine. My point is no, because they were raised there. That's the answer to your question.
So again, just being raised there doesn't change anything about their impact on the culture. So if you're saying an immigrant has to have this norm sort of response to the culture, well, then that same thing must be true specifically of citizens. Otherwise, citizens would be harmful to the culture under your view and wouldn't be creating a society that's targeted towards the good or that is coherent. Again, because you were saying that this is relevant towards our society being targeted and geared towards the good and for our nation being coherent. And if it's not being upheld by U.S. citizens, that means U.S. citizens are harming those aspects, right? So then obviously, then you would say that you would prefer immigrants who are undocumented, who have come to the country, who have those certain values over U.S. citizens that do not have those values. Do you agree?
Yeah, so when it comes to the entitlements of a person born in a specific place to citizenship, that's one thing. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they need to take a civics test to show that they have good values. I just think a civics test is a good marker for an immigrant specifically to show that they are interested in learning American culture. But I'm not even so stuck on the civics test. My main point is, regardless, the goal is, do I believe in birthright citizenship? I believe in certain circumstances. I don't think that you should be entitled. I'm not really sure on. I'm kind of agnostic. I'm learning more about it after all the current things that are going on.
You just said that they have citizenship and that shouldn't be questioned because they were born here.
No, I said that it was different than entitlements that a person has when they're born in a place.
Why?
I'm still trying to understand all the
Why? Do you believe in birthright citizenship?
Ethical. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm agnostic on it.
Sounds like you don't hold to that position then. Judy, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Christiana, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $15. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Christiana. I really appreciate it. Samantha, thank you so much for the $5. And Maudie, thank you so much for the $4.20. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Maudie said that her mom is going to the hospital, so send good energy or prayers towards her. Absolutely. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that she's okay. I hope that she recovers quickly. Isaiah, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So do you agree with my critiques on the mass amnesty?
Oh, wait, hold up. Could someone argue that could lead to harm/crime? Yes, but we would also designate Isaiah at a lower rate than U.S. citizens. But yeah. What was your point, sorry?
I was saying, so you understand my critiques on the mass amnesty? I'm asking.
No. Because you have given me critiques of a process for allowing people into the country, not for amnesty.
Yeah, amnesty would... the problem with amnesty is that would bypass this. It would bypass the points that I'm trying to make.
Okay, so then if you gave them a process to do that, where they don't have to leave the country, wouldn't that take into account all your concerns? Because it would actually incentivize them to go through that process. If you don't allow people to stay in the country, then they're gonna stay in the country undocumented, right? And they won't go through the legal process. But in order to actually incentivize them to go through the legal process, you have to give them the process, the pathway to citizenship, without them leaving the country.
Yeah, if they gave them the pathway to citizenship with all the criteria that I mentioned in the screening, then I'd be good for it. I just think that there's going to be plenty of those people that won't meet the criteria and therefore would be deported back to their origin countries.
Sure, you could say that, but then people, you're saying, should be given a pathway to citizenship, even in circumstances in which they're already undocumented in the country.
Yeah, I'm actually not against that if they follow all the criteria.
Okay, so then the distinction then becomes, All right. It's not about like deportation. You don't even believe in mass deportation, it seems. You just believe in a certain set of criteria for people to get in the country. Then I can just question each certain set of criteria, be like, why should you have to have this? Actually,
That's what we're doing.
since you have so many set of criteria on people coming to the country, I have a question. If someone was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, would you let them legally enter the country?
No.
No? Okay, so to clarify, do you think there should be harsher qualifications on becoming a citizen through the context of immigration or becoming president of the United States?
I think they should be different, but what do you mean by harsher?
Harsher. Do you think there should be more qualifications for becoming president or becoming an immigrant?
Yeah, well, if you're a criminal, then you should not be president.
Okay, well, Donald Trump's a convicted criminal, so he shouldn't be president, right?
Yeah, I understand that's the case, but I also understand that it is a contested point.
What? What do you mean? He's a convicted criminal. According to the U.S. court system, if you're an American patriot and you believe in the U.S. court system, well, Donald Trump's been convicted of 34 felonies. He's a criminal.
Yeah,
And
I
since we're
also
so pro
understand
law
that-
and order, we're against all these criminals, we don't think that they should be allowed to be president of the
didn't say
United
that.
States. Well, then you shouldn't have supported Donald Trump.
Please don't misrepresent me.
I'm not
But
misrepresenting
also,
you at all. I just represented exactly what your view was. You can literally go back and watch this on YouTube later and see you saying
You can
that.
watch this. I never said anything about what's it called, criminals. That was what we both agreed on.
Oh,
what that
wait.
shouldn't be
Did you
allowed
did
for
you say that a
immigration.
criminal should not be allowed to be president? Did you say that?
Yeah, but I never said that.
Is Donald Trump a
what
criminal?
You just mimicked.
Is Donald
Never
Trump a
said-
criminal?
Why are you running away from what I just
Is
said?
Donald Trump a criminal?
According to the court in New York, yes.
He was convicted of 34 felonies. He's a convicted criminal. If someone's
Yeah.
a convicted criminal, should they be allowed to be president?
I think it depends on the.
So he
instance of the trial.
said if they're a criminal, not allowed to be president. But if they're a convicted criminal, then maybe. What?
No, I think
What?
you're misrepresenting me again. I said depends on the
How am
instance
I
of the trial.
misrepresenting you, dude? Are you serious?
I just said. I said it depends on the instance of the trial.
Okay. So, but would you typically say that they shouldn't be allowed to be president at least?
Typically, correct, yes.
Yeah, given that you don't know anything about the case, you would say that they shouldn't be allowed, right?
Yeah, but I have an opinion on it if you want to
Okay.
hear it.
Okay, sure. What piece of evidence do you dispute in the case?
That's not the type of opinion I have. That's not the objection I have.
Can you
to the
name
case.
one piece of evidence in the case?
No. You want to hear my objection to it?
Yeah,
or
let's
no?
hear your objection, buddy. It's in New York.
Okay, cool.
They're New York.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. It was just that studies shown that the location in which the jury was taken was indeed very biased towards what's it called, the left. I also know.
Dude, I knew he was gonna make the point.
One
I
second.
fucking
No,
knew it.
because you strawman and said it was a place instead of me talking about the studies showing.
Wait, what
the
study?
bias
Name the
in
study.
area.
What's the study?
I can't name it because this happened a long time ago, but
Doesn't know the study. He's just saying
Doesn't
there's
have to
some
look it
studies
up.
that say this. Secondly, you're saying, oh, there's just a lot of liberals in the area.
you want to have like
that
a
doesn't
productive
mean.
conversation?
I just want to
never
let you
said
know.
there's a lot
You know
of-
who you know,
I'm
you know who
claiming-
selected the
Do
jury?
you hear my claim?
Who selected the jury?
I don't know who selected the jury, but it doesn't matter. To the
Trump's
point I'm making.
lawyers helped select the jury. Did
I
you know
they
that?
helped select the I did know
Jury
that, actually.
selection process.
I'm aware. I was trying to mention anyways that it is impossible, really, to even have what's it called, a fair jury in that situation. I would
He
have
said
to
he
figure
said
out
there's
exactly
no
what is-
way if there's any case against Donald Trump in the context of New York, I won't accept
Not
it.
even-
It could
no, I
demonstrate
think any-
anything. It could have video
I think-
evidence. But if the
Wrong.
jury was liberal, no way.
That's-
By the way, you don't even know if the jury was
no.
liberal. You have no evidence to indicate
Okay.
that. Donald Trump's lawyers were a part of the jury decision-making process in terms of selection. They would have been able to weed out people that they considered to be likely to be incredibly liberal.
I understand that. I also am trying to make the point that it is impossible for any citizen to not have an opinion on any president, especially Donald Trump. I'm not saying that it is specific to Trump. I am not.
It's impossible. Wait, to
try
clarify.
excuse
To
Trump
clarify,
as
there's
opposed to
not
other
a
presidents.
wait. So there's not a single person in America that does not have an opinion on the president of the United States.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying on President Trump, it is virtually impossible to figure out how to get a fair jury in the time span which
You
they
don't
did
think there
for
were people in
Donald Trump's trial.
2020
Please- I'm in the middle of saying my point. That in the time span of Donald Trump's trial to get a
So you think that there's literally not anyone in the context of New York that would meet the set of criteria of not knowing who Donald Trump is. And even if they do, they can set those biases aside. That's the point of the jury, is they set those biases aside. There was 12 jurors that determined that Donald Trump was found guilty of this in a criminal court. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
it's not about it being a criminal court, everyone. When people say they don't accept Donald Trump being held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman because it's not in a criminal court, they're lying. If it was a criminal court, they wouldn't accept it. They'd be making the same arguments. Same arguments. It's just straight talking points that they get spewed to them, and they just buy it for no reason. This is a horrible reason to say that you don't accept the results of a court case.
You know the principle of sufficient reason?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, I'm saying it is sufficiently reasonable to say that if there's a trial with many indicating factors that point to unjustness, that it wouldn't be a crazy proposal at all to say that the trial was unjust or at least different than a typical criminal trial. And that's all I'm saying. So I'm saying in this instance of the
Yeah,
trial,
but not a reason to
it is a
not
different
accept
type of
it. By the way, that's not how the principle of sufficient reason is used. I just want to clarify. But like, I actually don't know why you just referenced the PSR. That was crazy.
No, you're
You have
right.
no
I was-
clue how the PSR is used. That
No,
was
I
actually
do. I can
hilarious.
explain it to you if you want.
No,
I can
you
explain to
couldn't.
what the principle of sufficient reason is.
Go ahead.
So the principle of sufficient reason is basically that a thing doesn't like pop into being. So it is sufficiently reasonable to make the claim that, for example, something caused the thing to be. That would be an example of the. So it involved things like I'm trying to remember the exact the exact terminology for it.
So you actually
it would be things like
you're kind of close.
persistence.
Wait,
it
I
would
just
be
want,
continuity.
I just want to clarify.
That
You're,
would kind of be what makes up the PSR.
I
But
understand.
you're right, it doesn't apply here.
You're kind of close, and
mistakenly
it
applied
doesn't apply at all. So given that definition that you just provided, it doesn't apply at all. It's about like things like, okay, if there's something that came into existence, there has to be a sufficient reason as to why they came into existence. It can't just be the case that they
Exactly,
came
yeah.
into existence, which I can dispute that based upon that as well. Like, there's no reason why not. But
Oh,
like,
you want to argue
but like we
with the
can.
PSR?
But no, I'm not. I'm not arguing the PSR. That's totally irrelevant to argue. And by the way, even if
I
you
agree.
establish the PSR to be accurate, that doesn't justify any actual specific religion, right? Even if you accept the contingency argument, it still doesn't accept any other religion. I mean, there's plenty of things, but like, yeah, the
I'm not
PSR
on
is
religion
is
yet.
vastly and widely disputed even then. But the fact that you brought it up in that context is kind of really funny.
I know. No, I don't know where my I don't know what the
Like,
thought
to be
process
totally
for the
honest with you,
PSR was.
practically no one would be able to call you out on that. But just because I've debated a bunch of religious topics in the past, and because I'm associated with those types of arguments, because I've debated people who have run the contingency argument, I do know
You're in the
that.
community, so you know.
Yeah. That was just so like practically no one would have been able to call you on that. It's just because I
Yeah,
had that specific knowledge.
most people on the app would just let it fly by. But yeah.
Well, 'cause-
Anyway,
yeah,
that's
no,
fine. It doesn't matter to the point that I'm making. My point is that the instance of this trial is different, and it is not and therefore my rule before of convicted criminals shouldn't be able to be presidents can be under influence because of this different instance in the trial.
I don't say. So are you saying that you don't accept any case against Donald Trump in New York?
What I'm saying is that it doesn't carry the same weight as a typical
But enough weight
conviction trial.
to accept it, right?
I'm saying not enough weight to discount him from being a president. No.
Wait, but you said if he's a criminal. Do you believe he's a criminal?
Do I believe that he did those crimes? Quite frankly, I'm unconvinced.
Jane, thank you for the $5.
But I am
For
not
PSA,
claiming
lawyers
that
can request change of the venue if a fair trial is impossible in jurisdiction. Yeah, I think they did, but it was denied, saying that there was a fair trial.
What was that? Could you repeat that?
They did ask for like a change in the trial location, but that it was not granted.
Okay, fine. That doesn't change what I'm saying.
No, which
That is
they
interesting,
designated
though.
that it is fair. So that is one thing. Like the court system did address this, and you're saying that like, oh, I just don't accept that court system. That sounds like incredibly pro-American. That sounds super pro-American court systems. You know, like you definitely believe in the validity of court systems if you're willing to dispute a criminal court such as that. By the way, saying that Donald Trump is a convicted criminal, right, is not that wild of a take in comparison to everything else that Donald Trump's done. If you just had to say that Donald Trump was a convicted felon and all he did was literally just like he was the business expenses, the falsification of business records, right? If that was just it, like it's not like a crazy thing to accept. The reason why you can't accept it is because you don't want any criminals in the country. You think violating the crime is such a big harm to this country, and you have to justify that stance. It's kind of like a wildly absurd thing that you have to do.
No, I'm specifically talking about the qualifications for presidency. Yeah, obviously it's plausible that Trump committed a crime. It's plausible that many people committed a crime. What I'm trying to say isn't also that you should kick out every person that committed a crime. I was also just saying as the standard for immigration, you shouldn't have people who committed a crime, and you agreed with me on that. So I think the important thing to pay attention to once again is just when you make a trial for a president, any president, Trump or literally any president, how the trial is conducted should be treated very, very differently, especially in terms of timing. If, for example, the trial was even just delayed towards after presidency or towards a time where it wouldn't have as much political influence, the fact that there's so much political influence on it puts a pressure, an external pressure on the results of this trial towards every citizen, because the relevance of the presidency goes on to every single citizen, including the judge, including the jury, including every single person involved in the process.
Okay, I have a
So
question.
that's why I would think it's not fair, or at least in order for me to carry weight onto this trial, do it in a manner that is much more careful, in a manner that is much more thorough.
Okay, if Joe Biden was criminally convicted in Florida for 34 felonies, would you accept that?
I don't know. That's a strange hypothetical. I'd have to look into the instance of the trial, like I'm talking about with Trump.
But like, wouldn't they be biased? Because it is the case that like he's a political candidate, right? He was running, and it was in a Republican area. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't accept that, right?
Yeah, if that was the case, I wouldn't accept that.
Oh, he wouldn't accept it. He wouldn't accept a criminal conviction in a Republican area. If the Republicans found Joe Biden to have committed crimes in their federal investigations, would you have accepted that?
Wait, what was the difference you just made in the two cases? I already answered this, I think. No, I wouldn't accept it if it was in the same, if the trial
So if
had the same
if the federal government, right, led by
environment, sorry.
Republicans, found out that Joe Biden committed a crime, you wouldn't have accepted that? Appreciate the hand art.
No, this is the third time I'm saying that. Not that I wouldn't have accepted it. It
Okay,
wouldn't
well
even
then I have
carry as much weight.
I have a
I'm saying
question.
it wouldn't. I'm saying wait. Let me actually clarify what I'm saying. Not that I wouldn't accept it. What I'm saying is that it wouldn't carry enough weight for me to disqualify him as a president.
Yeah, so like you would totally be okay with him still being president.
Be okay with him still being president if the. But I think that's obvious. Obviously, if the conditions that I gave to Trump making his trial not have as much weight, obviously would also make a similar, just inverted version of the trial with Biden also not carry that much weight. I think that's obvious.
Okay. If Donald Trump were criminally convicted in New York for sexual assault, would you still vote for him?
If he was convicted for sexual assault,
Yeah, criminally convicted.
criminally convicted, yeah, once again, it would have to once again, we're talking about presidents this whole time, correct?
So would
I
you
already
still
gave
would
you
you
my
still vote
take.
for him if he was criminally convicted for sexually assaulting
I
a
already-
child?
I already-
How about
I
this?
already-
If he was criminally
One
convicted
moment.
for sexually assaulting a child, would you still vote for him?
I just have a clarifying question. Are you saying again that the trial instances were the same as the other trial instances?
Yes. It's in New York.
Then it would also not carry the same amount of weight for the same reasons. Why would
So,
it be any
so, so,
different?
so then answer the question yes. Say it yes. I dare you.
Say yes what?
Yeah, would you still vote for Donald Trump if it was the case that he was criminally convicted of sexually assaulting a child in New York?
In the same instances as there, then it wouldn't be a reason for me to disqualify him as a candidate, no. That's
You
not
look
absurd at all.
insane, bro. You don't
No,
realize
that's
how
not true.
insane you look when you say that. You don't
That's-
get
that's
it.
actually not
You
true.
don't understand.
It's actually
He
not
just
true
doesn't
because-
realize. You said you would vote for Donald Trump if you were criminally
Who won the
convicted
election by
of sexually
popular vote?
assaulting a child.
Who won the popular vote?
Jesus Christ, get out of my life, dude. Oh my God. That's so crazy. There's no way he actually believes that, dude. He's such a cult member. It's unbelievable. I just want to clarify. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. That shows that genuinely, in terms of the criminal courts, like, you shouldn't be saying like that's a crazy perspective. You know how they always say, "Oh, I would accept it if it was a criminal case." Yo, what's up? How old are you? Louise, thank you so much for the 45 DKK. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Alrighty, everyone, let's get on to the next person. By the way, I think I have like another hour or so left on the live here before I have therapy. So I do have to get off then. I'll probably get on a bit later. I don't know if I got my main account back. I don't have it back yet. So I don't know what's going on with that. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. Hey, everyone, I'd really recommend for the 3,000 people here on TikTok, go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't already. I would really, 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 really appreciate that. I'm telling you. And for the time that I'll be gone, I'll make sure that I have a video posted because I did post a video. I think I scheduled it for a little bit later. I'll schedule it for right when I get off. So if people want to go check out the video, you can watch it. Let me make sure to schedule it for that real quick. I have it scheduled for 3 p.m. We'll schedule it for 1. And then in the meantime, you can watch the video or watch the YouTube video if you'd like to. James, thank you for the 5 Canadian. Thank you so much. If you want to support me as always, again, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, everyone. I should be on live a little bit later as well, everyone. Hopefully I can get my main account back by then. But I would really just make sure to go to my YouTube and turn on notifications. This is the best place to go to. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Get on curbside. It was like for that 150.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't know about that.
What's your YouTube? My YouTube is Parker Get a Job. It's Parker Get a Job. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
August 14th.
Hello? You're going to do 2 lives today? Yes. It's because I forgot. I planned my live to do 9 a.m. today, and I forgot that I had therapy at 1. So. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
28.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Didn't come here to talk about that.
Okay.
I just want to know what's your beef with.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
24.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
What's your birth year?
2000.
Okay. And 24, what month?
July
What day?
20th.
Okay. So why do you support Donald Trump?
I think he cares about the working class people.
Name one policy that benefits working class people that he's passed.
The policy the other day, with the Medicare cuts, I think that was good just for our tax cuts.
To clarify, you said that it was good for the working class to cut them off their Medicaid.
Yes, because we get tax cuts.
The tax cuts went mainly to rich people. And if you actually look at the overall effect of the big, beautiful bill, the bottom quintile net lost. Did you know that? The bottom quintile net loses money. So working people who need help, they are getting hurt by this policy. And it's going to rich people. It's literally Robin Hood for the rich. It takes money from the poor and it gives it to the rich.
Did you read that on CNN?
No. It's from the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office. Nonpartisan committee from the federal government. I bet you think it was CNN, but you read all the shit you read from Fox News.
Fox News, Truth Social, sometimes Rumble.
You're trolling, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just kick me off.
I got you. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump.
Hi, Parker.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 21.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why so?
Well, I've debated you before, and I've looked at your stuff online, and I wanted to ask you how you feel about transracial.
transracial. I don't know how that relates to this. I don't think that's legitimate.
Yeah. So Donald Trump supports.
I
a lot
don't
of
think that has
policies
anything to do with
and stuff
transgender people.
well, are both social construct?
So in terms of the way that gender is viewed specifically from the context of people's societal commitments towards certain social norms, whereas when we're referencing the context of race, it's not predicated off of people's commitments. Race is predicated off of phenotypical expression.
So is it a social construct?
People have a social construct attributed around, right, the phenotypical expression, right? But it's not the same as the people having a social construct around the commitments, societal commitments that people have. There's a distinction in how they operate, even though that they are societal constructs. Similarly
So you
to
would say that
people's
both
names.
race and gender are.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you believe in
So-
names? Do you believe in names?
Yeah,
How do you identify what someone's name is?
I do.
How do you do it? They tell
The
you,
sign of
right?
birth. Well, hold on. I wanted to ask you.
Do they tell you their name?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you though.
So because you
if
believe in the
that I'm allowed
societal
to
wait,
identify-
wait. Because you believe in the societal construct of the use of names and the self-ID associated with the use of names, does that commit you to saying that because it's also a social construct relating to race, that then you can just self-ID race?
Right. Well, you can also change your name too.
Okay.
So I wanted
wait,
to know,
wait.
like,
So are you
yeah,
saying
I
there are
agree with
different
you, like-
prescriptions on different societal constructs?
I'm saying that names are a social construct, and you're telling yeah they are. I believe names are a social construct, right? Right, because we don't have a name in the womb, right? So if gender is a social construct and names are a social construct, can't race also be a social construct? Because you told me.
Wait, no, you just said that because societal constructs are a certain way, that means they have to operate the same way. And that's why you were saying because it is a case that someone believes that transgender people have a valid identity, that then means that they have to believe that transracialism particularly is valid, right? But then you just acknowledge that you believe in names, a societal construct based upon self-ID, which I wasn't even proponing self-ID, I was proponing commitments, right? You were proponing, right, names based upon self-ID, which is totally consistent with your perspective, was then saying that transracialism is valid. That's what you just argued. But you don't think that
Yeah,
commits
I
you to
know.
that. You don't think that just because
No,
a
no, I
societal
know.
construct works a particular way, that it means all societal constructs work that way.
I'm asking you, like, right, if social constructs don't have biological ties, right, like my name is not tied to my skin, or I could change my name, right, and gender is also doesn't have biological ties because I can change that. I was wondering if race works the same way.
No, race doesn't work the same way. And
Why
also
not?
because it's not predicated off of commitments. It's
But I thought
predicated
you
off
said
of
there was a
phenotypical
social
expression.
construct surrounding it.
Social constructs surrounding the fact that it's related to the phenotypical expression. So as a societal construct associated with that, it's not predicated based upon commitments. I don't
Right,
know
but
why.
your own
Why are
definition
you
of gender-
why are you arguing that all societal constructs have to operate the same?
Well, I'm not saying that they have to operate the same, but I am saying that they are changeable.
That's actually what you just argued. You're arguing that you don't understand how societal constructs can operate differently. How one could be based upon
Okay.
commitments and another one could be based upon phenotypical expression, right?
All right, let me word this a different way, right? Like, let's say I want to identify as another race, right? And that is how I wish to identify.
No,
Why are
that's
you going to come
invalid.
in and oppress me and tell me I can't do that?
Because I don't think that race is based upon commitments or self-identification. I think that race is particularly based upon phenotypical expression.
So you think it's directly tied to biology?
No, that's not necessarily
Because if-
biology, but phenotypical expression.
Yeah, phenotypes, right? You're talking about melanin and stuff like that. So
Phenotypical
my race
expression.
is determined. Yeah, my race is determined by my outward appearance, right?
But specifically based upon the phenotypical expression.
Right. But I thought you said there was also a social construct surrounding it.
Yeah, I'm saying that people have designated terms and societal constructs that surround the phenotypical expression.
Would you say that like there's an equivalence between like they're like you're talking about like a culture?
I'm sorry,
right?
what
Like,
are
for
we
example,
talking about right now? Like, do you want to talk
I
about
was
why you
asking
support
about
Trump?
Yeah, no, we're talking about transgenderism here.
Transgender
I
people.
also wanted to know, like, I'm gonna ask you another question. Do you believe in moral
Can we
relativism,
can
right?
we
Subjective
talk
morality?
about this, bro? Like, this isn't Q&A Parker time. This is come on my live and talk to me about why you support Donald Trump. Please
Yeah, it's
have
all-
a
it's all
conversation
rooted
with
in
me. Have a conversation with me about why you support Donald Trump. My meta-ethical view has no relevance to this at all.
Okay,
If
all
I
right.
believed, if I believe in objective meta-ethics, right, that doesn't change my position. If I believe in subjective meta-ethics, doesn't change my position. Respond to this, or I'm going to kick you. Stop wasting
Okay,
my
I'll
time.
respond to the prompt.
I
I'll
have
respond to the
45
prompt. I'll give
minutes
you-
before I have to get off. Stop wasting my time.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of a policy that I agree with. Right, underage gender affirming care being upheld by the Tennessee Supreme Court.
Okay. So you specifically think that children, right, even if they're not trans, shouldn't be able to get access to like puberty blockers?
I think the most specific thing that I want to concentrate on and ask you about is would you support gender reassignment surgery for individuals under the age of 18?
No.
No, why not?
I don't think that surgeries like that, because of the permanent nature and the effect of it, and because it could be a harm in that particular way, that should be allowed in that context. But I do think that once someone becomes no, so there are reversible aspects, particularly to puberty blockers that exist, that don't exist particularly for the surgery. But if you want to reference this, that's a
I have a
that's a
source
huge
right now. The American Physiology Association says that puberty blockers are not 100% reversible, meaning that there is a permanent effect to them, similar to gender reassignment surgery.
Wait. So it's all about dosage. If you'd like to send me the source, give me the title. I'd love to see it. All right, and I'd love to look at it. But please provide to me the title, actually, and then we'll respond on that. I can't hear you while you're out of the app. Just letting you know.
I've got the source.
I can't hear you when you're out of the app. You have to come back and see me before I can hear you.
Yeah, it's physiology.org. It's the American Physiology
No, tell me
Association.
the title. Can't hear you when you're out of the app. I think Santana wants to join up. Absolutely.
Says that studies bolster that the effect of puberty blockers are reversible, but it's only talking about in the short term.
Can you tell me the
Like,
title?
for example-
I'm waiting for the title.
I just told you, yeah, it says its study bolsters that effects of puberty blockers are reversible, right? But in that article, it talks about how they're
Wait,
reversible in the short term.
study bolsters that. Wait, so the study shows that that they are reversible?
Yeah, but it's talking about in the short term. So, like, if at the age of 12 I take puberty blockers and I take them until I'm 32, I'm not going to go through puberty when I'm 32.
Wait, why not?
Because by the time you reach 32, you're too old for puberty.
Is that true?
I think you could can I just delay puberty until my 70s?
Is
that how it works?
I mean, I would assume. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look.
So, I mean, if they're entirely reversible, right? And let's say I don't want to go through puberty for 60 years, I can just take puberty blockers and then it'll be completely reversed by the time I reach 72. And then hopefully by the time I'm 100, I'll be going through menopause.
To clarify, like when you're talking about the context of puberty, right? It would probably be relative to the studies. I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not like a scientist, but
Well, you're
you'd have
making
to-
the claim that puberty
Can I
blockers
please
are
finish
reversible.
speaking?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't think that when it comes to the studies that you would be able to relate to this and be able to actually tell us. I don't think that you're actually pointing us to this information, and I don't think that anyone's waiting till 70 years old specifically to go off of puberty blockers, right? That seems a bit ridiculous to me.
So
and then
I'm challenging your claim,
I would
though, that
also
they're
challenge you for 1 second to take 1 second to listen to Eli real quick.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
I have my headphones in. All right. Hi, Alec. Hi. I am a 32-year-old trans man going through puberty right now. Hello. Are you there?
Sorry, I'm trying to find a source for Parker.
Yeah, Parker was correct. So puberty blockers are used for multiple different conditions, right? In cisgender children, puberty blockers are used typically for precocious puberty. So they're going to be a higher dose. And then there are instances that, in which case that can cause a chemical castration is the most commonly understood term, right? When it comes to puberty blockers for trans kids, those doses are very, very small. in comparison. And so as soon as those puberty blockers come off, puberty sets in because the hormone levels of like estrogen, testosterone, and then the androgen receptors, all that, it just starts, right? And the same way that if I were to, like, for me, I'm not on puberty blockers, but I am on testosterone. There are some things that are occurring to my body that are going to be
Yeah.
permanent. I want them to be permanent, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
can I say something? Sorry. According to Breakpoint.org, I found an article. Doctors admit that puberty blockers are not 100% reversible. And Parker and I are having a debate as to whether or not we should support gender reassignment surgery for individuals under the age of 18. I found that Parker has a rather conservative Republican view on this, and he disagrees
No,
with it.
he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Because you're not going to do that. Because one, I've known Parker for longer than like probably majority of people in this chat. Two, Parker has gotten a lot of his sources from me. Three, Parker brought me up as a trans guy because it's relevant. I don't really care that you're having your back and forth here because you're speaking misinformation on the marginalized community that negatively impacts myself and the children that I actually give a shit about. You are speaking in a way that harms kids because what you don't understand is when you don't give these kids the access to the care that really can be life-saving. And it's not me just making a statement or like an opinion. Data shows that if you allow kids to have access to this care, they actually can make it to the age of fucking 18. When you
Does that
don't,
include gender reassignment surgery?
no.
Because
Why do you keep
if not,
going?
that's actually you
Parker,
who's harming kids.
Parker already disputed this with you. Parker
Yeah.
already squashed this. We are not endorsing. I, as a trans person, do not endorse gender reassignment surgery, which is
So
a
you don't
fucking.
endorse life-saving care?
That is not. All right.
It's
That is
gender affirming, is it not?
No, that it is, but there are certain
Ooh.
steps. There are certain steps towards it. Yes, it is gender affirming, and yes, it is life saving. But
What if
there
I'm
are
going to
certain.
off myself if I don't? Oh, so you don't support life?
Hold up. So, look, let's just clarify real quick, because I think this is where he's misunderstanding. It is the case that we're arguing that puberty blockers and HRT can be able to get access to, right? But at the point of we're referencing gender reassignment surgery, right, prior to the point of 18, we're saying that's not something that we would hold. It sounds like you're rage baiting though. Like, I mean, do you think
So,
that
I'm not rage baiting.
do you think that cis children should be able to get access to puberty blockers?
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's
Okay.
beneficial, I think
Why
puberty
should
blockers also have
if
negative
it's
effects on
beneficial,
mental
if it's
health.
beneficial, who determines if it's beneficial? The doctor?
The doctor, yeah.
Okay, so if the
Typically, like
doctor
testosterone
determines that
stuff.
it's beneficial when we're referencing a trans kid, right? You would agree in that context, it would make sense.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Hold on. Here, let me tell you the
Wait,
parallel.
he
right?
disagreed
So,
with gender affirming
can I
care for
say something?
minors.
Hold on. There's a parallel here
So
because
you must disagree with
don't
Trump's
think
ban.
that you don't think that the child's brain is developed enough to make the decision to get gender reassignment surgery. However, you do agree that the child's brain is developed enough to make the decision to get onto puberty blockers.
I think specifically that it is the case that there can be a determination by the doctors and by the kid and the parent, specifically when it comes to puberty blockers and to HRT prior to that point, but not when it comes to the surgery. Also, the doctors wouldn't say surgery prior to that point, but.
So you just
Yeah.
don't think
So
you don't agree
hold
with
on.
the permanence of the gender reassignment surgery. That's where you
Can
have the
you
disagreement. It's not whether or not the child's
stop?
old enough to make the decision.
That's one of the
Can
elements, but
also can we? There's a couple of things that are really harmful. You have this like big blanket view of trans people. Not every trans person wants surgery. Not every trans person gets surgery. There are trans people that like do not exist in the way that you have this like narrative surrounding them. I also want to challenge you really quick because I guarantee you don't have a problem unless you do. Do you know the population of people with differences in sexual development or like
Less than 1%.
quote unquote intersex? No, it's
Oh,
about the
that's
same
transgender.
amount of
Whatever.
it's about the same amount of people who have red hair. That's how many intersex people that we know of, and probably more. And why do I bring this up? Because when we have like a certain types of intersex conditions that cause people to present phenotypically with maybe like some ambiguity, where there is both male and female reproductive organs at birth, doctors and the parents decide for these children which one they're going to keep There's no consent in the kid. That's a permanent change in that kid's life that they don't get any autonomy over.
So I have
And
sources that suggest that puberty blockers are also permanent. And if you don't agree with that child making that permanent decision,
Wait, actually, the source you cited said you were wrong, but
I have another
go
source.
for it,
I have another
Santana.
source.
And I
Go
just
for it.
to chime in on that point because
It's
I've actually been,
breakpoint.org.
yeah, sure, that's cool.
I'll
I've
hear
been
the title
sitting here
second.
actually reading and studying up on that as well. But if you actually go to, there's a complete study that was done by the National Library of Medicine. And they have multiple studies that go from 2023 all the way up to 2019, where in summation, the biggest point that they make is that there's no substantial evidence that there's long-term ramifications for puberty blockers, and even more, it depends on the type of puberty blockers being taken, the method, the treatment, and also the actual person that's on said puberty blockers. And more than anything, it echoes what Eli and Parker said. It's a
Actually, I
decision
want to.
that, sure, I'm finishing my sentence there. It's a decision that needs to be made between the doctors and the people making the decision, because different people react differently.
Actually, I do want to echo what Eli said. Eli said that gender reassignment surgery can be a life-saving procedure for some individuals. So I want to know why he's oppressing trans children and taking that away from them, both you and Parker.
I'm not oppressing them. So here's the thing. When it comes to certain interventions with someone's body, right? They should have that autonomy, but there is appropriate ages of consent when there are things that I think where we agree on more so than you realize, right? Like there's this narrative that's being pushed that trans people want kids to be doing things to their body when they can't grasp the long-term effects, right? So there are different stages of a medical transition, and before that there's something called social transitioning, right? We have seen there's data that supports that just socially transitioning can be life-saving for children in that long term and short term, and then having that progress towards, hey, I know right now we can do things to suppress the anatomy from appearing in a way that causes that dysphoria. We can also call you by the name that you want us to call you by. We can use the proper pronouns and all these things, right? And that already has proven to help these kids make it to the age of 18. Because what you're suggesting right now, like I was trying to say earlier, is that when you take these things from these kids, their self-unaliving rates skyrocket.
Right.
So,
and you also admitted, though, that gender reassignment surgery can be a life-saving procedure. So why are you taking that away from children?
Hold up. He keeps asking the same question. Listen to this.
Yeah.
In terms of the determination, doctors, do most doctors or do doctors in general make determinations that children should be receiving gender reassignment surgery?
I mean, I don't know if that ever happens. I'm asking you why you would ban it.
Do doctors make that determination about HRT and puberty blockers? Absolutely. That is a very large distinction when we're referencing how we look at things, because, right, that demonstrates that in terms of the data that it's very likely that it is the case that there's a different narrative about this, that maybe it seems like the data is pretty clear that it is okay for us not to allow specifically gender reassignment surgery, but to allow everything else because it allows for kids to get to a point where they're old enough to make those different types of determinations.
Old enough though. That's the point. It's old enough.
No,
yeah,
of course,
you're talking about other.
It's old enough in accordance with other considerations, right? It's old enough in considerations with other sorts of things. So it's not just age; it's age in accordance with other things. You have to think about how that's relevant to this conversation.
You're telling me they're not
I would
old
just
enough
like to
make
call
the
out the
decision,
point
though.
that he like completely blew past what I said, which again kind of really confirms exactly what
rarely
you
allowed
guys
to
are
speak.
saying. Sure, it depends on the different people because people react differently, and so this is why it needs to be a decision made with the doctor for the best possible solution. So you can't pigeonhole this argument when they actually show like it's an individual type of decision that needs to be made.
Okay, so would you support then if the doctors and the parent and the child all wanted it? Would you support an individual under the age of 18, Mr. Santa?
There are very
Santana,
Sorry, I can only see part of your name.
For me, and I'm a little bit different than Eli and Parker. I mind my own damn business, so that's not my decision. If a parent, if a child and a doctor make a decision together, whether I like it or not, it's their decision, not mine. I'm not interested in other people's business.
Oh, so you're on
It's
my
weird.
side, Santana. You
No,
think
no,
that with
I'm genuinely not. You are up here arguing in bad faith. You've been in bad faith for a while. I came up here actually for a different conversation. I just
you actually
happened to
disagree with
be.
them, though.
No, I
No,
don't
because
disagree.
You
with
just
you.
told
Don't
me you
understand
disagree
what I'm
with us
saying.
too.
No, you're not listening. My point is, it's not my business. It's not my business. That's my point. You're missing that.
That's
And I haven't
very
even
productive
gotten
because
to.
that's
I
neither
haven't
yes
even.
nor no.
I haven't
He's not
even
even
gotten
referencing
to.
legality. He's referencing whether or not he's just in the business. Also, I just want to
Yeah.
clarify.
I wanted to know if Santana.
Eli, go for it.
You steamroll a lot, and so we aren't often able to get our full thoughts out, and so that's why you don't even know my full position on this, because my position is 1000% in alignment with Santana. Because what the fuck, who am I to get into the business of somebody else's
It's
child's
not
life?
aligned because Santana says that he would allow for a child under the age of 18 to get a gender reassignment surgery with doctor and parent permission. He says that he would not get in the way.
Wait.
and that's
By
none
the
of
way,
his
by the way,
business.
that's actually not even what he said. He just said that it's not his business. Do you understand the
Yeah.
difference between him saying it's not his business versus him referencing the law? I had just clarified that, and that's why I literally spoke in that circumstance, was to clarify that that was not a legal prescription, that was specifically just like a societal prescription in terms of whether or not he cares to engage particularly in that dialogue, because it's not his fucking business.
Yeah, but silence is
that's
compliance.
that's
If you
no,
refuse to
it's
get in
not.
the way, you
It's
agree.
not. That it's the same position that I take when we talk about abortion, because again, it's not my business. I have never given my personal opinion, and for you to sit here and say, "Would you get in the way?" I mean, is it legally something that can be done or not done? Because I'm not, I'm not holding the law. I don't have to actually, be a police officer or anything like that. So that's
Yeah.
different. So
I'm not
anything-
asking about the law.
anything
I'm asking
outside
about
of
what
that,
do you support.
Sure, anything outside of that is my personal preference, and my personal preference should not matter to other people. Again,
Then
it's
why
not
are you
my
up here?
business. I came up here because you were arguing a bad faith argument about race, but I ended up being up here to get a chance to slap you around on this topic as well.
Yeah,
You're not
because
giving an
you
opinion
brought
on
up
anything.
you have two. Well, what the thing is, like, I hear in almost every single person who is MAGA like come up in these lives, they talk about how they like we're the party of feelings on that the people that aren't MAGA, but almost every single MAGA that I come up here says I feel like, or opinion this, whatever. The thing is, we're not here to discuss like opinions. We're giving you evidence. We're speaking from things that can be backed up, right? This is not just like an opinion based or opinion driven conversation. The other thing that I like really like am annoyed with is the assumption, like, I can tell you're trying really fucking hard to like point us against each other right now, but I like, and it is of my opinion, if you want it, that I think that kids should be allowed to make decisions with their doctor, with their psychiatrist, with
Including
their
gender reassignment surgery?
endocrinologist. Holy shit, that's not fucking happening. Only in like some
Do you support it
severe...
or would you block it?
Dude,
Shut
wait,
up.
haven't we already responded to this? Like, are you okay, bro? Haven't we responded to this?
Eli said
Hey,
he
wait.
would block it.
Hold up. Haven't we already responded to this? What's your obsession?
So my obsession is
I
that
can't
first
even
of all,
get
the
my
left
whole thought out.
the left doesn't agree on this issue, right? You got moderate Democrats and radical Democrats disagreeing on this issue, and you're saying that the reason why children should not be able to get gender reassignment surgery is because they're under the age of 18 and they're not mentally aware enough to make that decision.
He's not listening to the full argument. There's something
No,
called a
he's not.
conjunction. So you can have multiple different attributes have to be true at the same time in order for someone to be able to get access to something, not just one thing in specific. And that's what I've been describing to you this whole conversation that you just seemingly don't understand. Like for example, when we're referencing the abortion conversation, a common conjunction that we use is past or present and future subjective experience. That's a disjunction into a conjunction. A disjunction being this or this would then grant the value, and a conjunction being this and this then grants the value.
But the conjunction only applies to gender reassignment surgery. It doesn't apply to hormone.
Why
blockers.
are you stuck on gender
Yeah.
reassignment surgery? Why do you keep bringing that
Because
up?
it's a perfect parallel and it destroys
Come
your
on, they give the
argument.
$5.
No,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't.
because you can
Here's
have the
the
different
thing.
standard. You don't have to have the same standard.
So you
Here's
have a
the
different,
thing.
but
Oh
they're in
my
the same
God.
category. They're both gender
First of
affirming.
all, stop,
So?
The only
stop,
reason he's
stop.
making this argument is because he's arguing in bad faith. He doesn't believe these things. He's just trying to loop you into a got you, and that's what's happening. Sorry.
It
Go
doesn't.
ahead,
He's
Eli.
not going to. No, you're fine. It's okay. Somebody just asked me why I'm so concerned with kids' genitals. I'm not the one who brought up kids, and I'm not the one who brought up kids' genitals. So please don't do that to me. But I just wanted to say, like, when you're talking about like what Parker was just saying, variables and like there's these three things called insistency, persistency, and consistency. If a child starts talking around the age of 4 years old, which was the first time that I said I'm a boy, not a girl, and then we allow them to just express themselves and don't say shut up, you're a girl. And we allow them to have that social transition and just let them be a kid, let them be themselves. If that remains consistent to the time that they're like 17 years old, they're technically not 18 yet. But if their doctor, their whole team of providers, they themselves and their parents and everybody are all on board, that's where I'm in alignment with Santana. I don't give a fuck. Let those parents know
You
their
mentioned
kid.
the age
That
of
kid knows
17.
themselves.
How young would you have to be to make that decision with your doctor's and parents' permission? Could you make it at 7?
I am not the expert on that. That is not
Oh, you're not the
my
expert.
lane.
That's a great argument. Yeah. So where would
No,
you draw the line?
I'm truly not. That's me being like good faith and honest.
So how old
I'm
do you
not
have to
going
be
to.
to make this decision, guys? And under your worldview.
All right. That would be something that I think would be a very case by case. What I'm trying to explain right now would be very case by case and should not be just a blanket like legal
I
standard.
completely agree with that, because when you take a look at like even
Sorry,
there's
Parker.
opportunities for kids to be emancipated, right? I mean, you can't just pigeonhole every single situation. Yes, you can say that there should be a quote unquote standard of 18, but you have to actually be able to recognize that not every situation is the same.
You
and
have to
take
be
that into
16 to be
account.
emancipated.
Yeah, I said.
Yeah, can you
It's
like
not
let
what I said.
let
Go ahead,
Santana
Parker,
finish?
you got
please.
it.
No,
No,
go.
you're good. You got it.
Okay. Yeah. So like, I have a question. If you knew that this specific life-saving care or surgery, right, was applicable to a 14-year-old, right? Would you allow for them to get access to it if you knew 100% that it would save their life?
I don't think threatening to unalive yourself is a good way to get policy.
No,
Like if I told you
here,
I want
I'll just give you a scenario. You know 100% if you don't give them access to this that they're going to die. And you know 100% it will save their life.
I mean, I could make the same thing true with a substance that starts with the letter H, right? Like if I don't give you this, if the government doesn't give you this substance that starts with the letter H, would you give that addict that substance?
But okay, wait, would we do that in order? Yeah, in some circumstances you actually have to in order to wean
Yeah.
someone off of it. You don't understand what you're talking about at all.
Yeah, that is actually
Okay, then I'll threaten to unalive myself to get something else. I need a lifetime supply of this substance. I need $1 million or I'm going to unalive myself.
So again, we wouldn't just believe based upon the set of conditions, but we're giving these types of priors of 100% it is the case that they're going to die if it is the case they don't get access to it, and 100% it is the case that if they do get access to it. Okay, so you would let them die. You would let them die?
Well, I mean, what if I demanded $10 billion or I'm going to unalive myself? Would you give me the $10 billion? Or would you let me die, Parker?
Well, in that are you saying I would let you die?
Oh,
yeah, that's not a gotcha.
So we're on the same page.
Listen,
We're on
Alec.
the same page.
So listen, Alec.
And Alec,
no,
you want to know why? Alec, you want to know why?
Because I voted for Trump.
Just don't be too insufferable, man. Go ahead, Eli.
Yeah, no, but the reason why, like, I wouldn't say I would let you unalive. What I would say is that,
Maybe $10 billion?
Absolutely fucking not. No, and especially not you, of all people.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. I'm like, no, you're not getting touched. I wouldn't believe someone.
Unalive myself to get what I want.
Hey,
right?
dude.
That's the
Hold
argument.
on, I didn't get to say. Hold on.
We wouldn't believe
Alec.
them in that scenario, obviously.
Yeah, and not only that, but like even if I did grant you that I believe that you feel the way that you do, fine. There are a lot of people that are going. I would love $10 billion. That would make my life so much easier, and I could feed and house like every homeless person or every person without a home. But like, what I would do is say, and in the United States, there are dependent on the state, there's certain things that we can do. Like in Florida, there's a Baker Act. There's like different types of facilities that you go in and you can stay in, because it would be very evident to me that you need fucking help. That's what I
Yeah,
would
and
do.
I agree with therapy, right?
Actually,
Not
wait.
giving
Well,
someone what they want. You don't negotiate.
this is gonna be really funny, chat. Watch this game show. This is the Parker game. Oh, I have to kick him. Fuck. I was gonna
Did he
ask
get-
him name one policy outside of the context of this, like that you support of Donald Trump's, and I doubt he was able to mention it. But now he got kicked off because he said a DRUG name.
He was about to trap himself too, because he was about to say, and so I support therapy and I don't support blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, what do you think? You think that a kid can just walk into a doctor's office and be like, oh, I want surgery right now? Like, what the fuck?
Swan.
There is copious amounts of therapy. Like, every single trans person has to be in therapy. We don't just get HRT. We don't just get what we want by like the snap of a finger. We have to have a team. We have to have doctors. In fact, it is far easier for a cisgender person to get their hormone replacement therapy, i.e. the millions of dudes that get their testosterone for their low T. But yeah, he was about to trap himself, and unfortunately he was too insufferable for the app itself.
Literally, though.
But yeah.
Well,
All right, well,
I just came off for like half a second because I mean the actual argument that he was trying to run as far as transracial, like that was wild. But the one thing that I was going to say, Parker, because you had him on the understanding of phenotypical characteristics, but the piece that was missed is the actual reason for race, which is racism. And if you don't address the sense of racism as far as the systematic racism, medical racism, education, like all of those types of things, then the construct that he keeps trying to shift to himself and say, oh, you know, I'm this or I'm that, it doesn't apply because he still wouldn't fall within those same constructs because other people wouldn't treat him as those things that he was using. But he was just using it as a talking point. That was it.
Appreciate you as always. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I really want like maybe Santana, somebody come in here and explain that, because it's disgusting when people suggest that. Why do YT people want to be oppressed so bad? Like, what is it? Can we just knock it off, y'all? All right. Thank you, Parker. Appreciate you.
y'all.
See you, Santana.
All right, everyone. I'm gonna say thank you to a few people. I have like 20 minutes left until I have therapy. Just clarifying, everyone. Just clarifying. So I do have to get off here in a second. I will get on later here. I don't know when the late night live will be. It depends on whenever Dean's live. I'll probably be live when Dean isn't. Just letting everyone know. Let me catch up. I think I'm a little bit behind. Oh my gosh, I'm really behind. The Tori, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Thank you. Naomi, thank you for the $2. Naomi with the $5. Thank you so much. Justin, thank you for the $7. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Maybe we will, definitely. Manny, thank you so much for the $2. Isaiah, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Tegan, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. I actually genuinely am okay with birthright citizenship. Jane, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Louise, thank you for the 45 DKK. Thank you. James, thank you so much for the $5 Canadian. Jane, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Sid with the $100 for day 2 of missing the stream. Boo. Well, tomorrow I will be on a lot later because tomorrow I'm going to be doing stuff like all day in the morning. So I will be on a lot later. Plus tonight I'll also be on for a little bit of time. I want to probably do like 2-3 hours tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Go on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Elizabeth with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give the W's for Elizabeth in the comment section right now. Thank you. And then Lovey with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know it's really crazy. Thank you so much though, Lovey. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's get the last person up here for the stream, everyone. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, everybody. Happy birthday, Parker. If it's your birthday, my birthday is April 7th. Just letting you know. Yo, what's up? How old are you? One thing is, everyone, we're getting close, but Sid's birthday is coming up here very soon, within the next few days. So on the 15th, everyone, we're going to show a lot of appreciation and love to Sid, everyone, for her birthday. So everyone, make sure to put that on your calendar. Mine is April 7th, no way. No way. But Var, thank you so much. I appreciate the $10. Thank you. And then Levy, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. I actually haven't seen anything like that. I would love to see information on that. I actually haven't seen that yet. Oh yes, Matt. Of course, Matt. That's also going to be a celebration, brother. Alrighty. That's actually so funny. Matt and Sid share a birthday. That's a W. That's a W. Dean said that he's going to be live soon, chat. Lucas, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. And Zyla, thank you so much for appreciating the $1. Thank you. Oh. Try to get the next person up here real quick. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
32.
Sorry, I was just responding to Dean. So 32, do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I do. Is Dean gonna join us or no?
No. Why so?
Okay, because he blocked me for some reason.
What'd you say?
I said he blocked me for some reason. I don't know why.
Why?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's probably a good reason. I should probably kick you from the live. If he has you blocked.
Yeah, I don't know why he blocked.
Yeah, if he has you blocked, there's probably a pretty good reason. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 29.
How old?
29.
29? Do you support Donald Trump?
Right now, I do.
You do right now?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Do you have headphones plugged in or something?
Yeah. Let me check it
Is
out.
there a way you could unplug them or turn off Bluetooth real quick?
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you a lot better now. So why do you support Donald Trump?
I didn't support him with the elections, either one of them. I didn't vote for him. But what's going on now, I do support him in a backhanded way. I like what he's doing with the immigration policy, not because I believe that immigrants should be deported, but because of the effect that it's having on racist white farmers, racist business owners that do employ immigrated.
So to clarify, you voted for a racist because you wanted to harm racists? Is that your view?
No. I didn't vote for him at any time.
Or if you could go back in time, would you vote for him? Sorry, I meant to say.
No.
Okay, well then.
No.
Well then, it
But-
seems like you don't. It seems like you don't support him in the context that I'm referencing. But I don't know. I think that like saying you support Donald Trump because of how like he's going to, because I don't think he's just harming like racist people. Like I think he's harming marginalized communities disproportionately. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
32.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Why so?
Well, when he was running, I think he beat everybody on stage. Like, easy. During the debates, do you remember?
Really? Like,
yeah.
You think that he beat Kamala Harris in the debate? On what point? The point
No,
where he
not-
said that people were
No,
eating
I'm
cats
talking
and
about-
dogs?
Because I voted for him twice already, so I'm talking about the first time I voted for him.
I'm talking about now. Why do you support him?
Oh, now because everything he's doing is just like right for the country.
Right for the country? Like what?
Yeah.
Is America great?
Yeah, I think so.
When did it become great?
When he came in office.
When he came in office? So like the day of?
Wait, why are you asking that?
You said he said make America great again.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm asking when it was great and like when it became great. So it's
Oh, well,
so
okay,
you're
look,
saying it became
okay,
great
the
as
con-
soon as he was inaugurated?
No. Okay, well, he had everything going, right? Like the country was gonna start booming, but then, they had to do this whole fake ass COVID thing, like where it's pretty much like destroyed all of his legacy, like everything that he did. So like now you can't even like really look back at what he's done because it's you know.
What?
Wait, okay, look at it. I don't understand why y'all hate on Trump so much when he used to be a Democrat. Like, would you support Trump if he was a Democrat?
No.
Because he was.
I said no.
But then like, and then okay, so just because he shifts to the right, why is he racist now? Like that doesn't make no sense to me. Because
He was racist then.
No, wait, what?
He was racist then.
To who?
And he's still racist now.
To who? He's freed like so many like black rappers, and he's also like.
Are you
hired
saying you're really
black
saying
people.
Donald Trump is not racist because he's pardoned
Yes.
people who are black?
Why would he pardon people that are black if he's racist?
Okay, I have a question. Do you think it's racist for him specifically to not rent to black people?
To not what?
Not rent to black people?
That's a whole ass lie because he has black workers. I mean, he has black people that are working.
In the 1970s, he didn't rent to black people, and it is the case the DOJ came after him. They had testers specifically that literally determined that they would particularly rent to people who are white, but they wouldn't rent to people who are black.
Because of what? Where's the proof of that? I haven't.
They had
I haven't heard of that.
applications. They had applications with the letter C on it for any individual that was non-white.
Okay.
To say that they shouldn't rent to them.
And so you think he did that himself? Like he put that there?
Yeah, that's what it determined. That's why he was forced under the law, he was forced specifically to like write in the newspapers, right, that he is renting to black people now.
Maybe he didn't think they were gonna pay rent on time. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean.
My brain, it hurts. This is what I'm going to talk about in therapy. I'm literally getting off to go to therapy. I'm serious. Like, yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Just letting everyone know right now. I'd really appreciate if you go over to my YouTube. I will be live later. I still will be live later because I've only done like half my stream so far. I mean, I've got like 4 hours up to close to 4 hours here on YouTube. But I mean, I'm gonna do another stream later in the day. I forgot. I planned my live to do like early. I got on like 9 o'clock. I planned on doing what's it called, the whole stream. But then I remembered that I have therapy, so I forgot what day it was. I forgot it's Wednesday, so yeah. Alexis, think of the $5. Tomorrow, by the way, I will be on a lot later in the day. Just letting everyone know, I will be live a lot later in the day. I don't know what live time I'll be live later. I'll keep everyone updated. I think that I'll try to message or post on my Instagram or something like that. My Instagram has an updates, live updates aspect channel. You should go check that out. Have you been liking therapy? Yes, it's been helpful. I honestly think right now, I mean, I'm not gonna get like another debate, so I might just like talk to people for a second or get off right now, real quick, because I couldn't set up another one. So I appreciate everyone for coming through today. I'd really recommend go over to the YouTube stream. I'd really appreciate if you like the YouTube stream as well. There's 2.4 thousand people on the YouTube stream. I think there's like 1,000 likes or something. I would really appreciate if you like the stream. Libby with the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Libby. For sorry you have to tolerate the most ignorant people on the planet daily. Thank you so much, Libby. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for Libby in the comment section right now. Kai, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kai. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. And Libby, again, thank you for the $50. Thank you so much. Can you take questions? I actually don't have much time. I have to get off. Nightblade, thank you for the $4.21. Thank you. Alexis, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Time to get off. I love everyone so much. A lot of people asking for a blinker. I got you, chat. All right, everyone. I'll see you live later. I love y'all so much. I'll see you then. Go to my YouTube. I'm serious. I love y'all so much. Go to my YouTube. I'm telling you, the video's posting in 5 minutes. Go check out the video I'm posting. It's gonna be posted in 5 minutes. I have it scheduled. I love y'all. I'll see y'all. See y'all later.